Imagine living each day with a calm mind, unshaken by stress, anger, or fear. Imagine being in full control of your emotions, not because life is easy, but because you have trained your mind to stay strong, no matter what comes your way. But let's be honest, how many times have your emotions taken control of you? How often have you said or done something in anger, regret, or fear, only to wish later that you had stayed calm? The truth is, if you don't learn to control your emotions will control you. And when that happens, you give up your power. You react instead of thinking. You follow impulses instead of reason. You become a slave, not to another person, but to your own mind. Today, you're going to discover 15 powerful lessons in Stoicism that will help you break free from this emotional prison. These are not just quotes or ideas. They are tools. Tools that have stood the test of time. Tools used by warriors, leaders, philosophers, people who faced chaos and stayed calm. So get ready, because after this video, you will never see your emotions the same way again. But before we start, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Write this in the comments. Starting today, I am in control of my emotions. I am stoic. This is not just a sentence. It's a decision, a declaration. The more you repeat it, the stronger it becomes. You are training your mind. You are choosing reason over reaction. So write it now, and let's begin. Number 1. Audit the source of your emotional reactions. Stop. Breathe. Ask yourself, where is this emotion coming from? Is it truly the situation that is upsetting you, or is it your reaction to it? Most people go through life thinking that their emotions are caused by other people, by outside events, or by bad luck. But that's not what Stoicism teaches. The Stoics understood something powerful. We are not disturbed by what happens, but by how we interpret what happens. Let that sink in. You are not angry because someone cut you off in traffic. You are angry because you believe they disrespected you. You are not anxious because your boss sent you a short email. You are anxious because you assumed it means something is wrong. You are not sad because someone said something to you. You are sad because you gave their words too much weight. That's the first step to emotional strength. Realizing that most of your reactions don't come from the outside world. They come from you, from your thoughts, from your beliefs, from the story you tell yourself about what's happening. So what should you do? Audit the source. When you feel anger rise, stop and ask, what belief is behind this feeling? When fear shows up, ask yourself, what assumption am I making that leads to this fear? When envy, jealousy, shame, or sadness hit you, don't just feel them, question them. You might be surprised. Often you'll find that the emotion has nothing to do with the present moment. Maybe it's coming from an old wound. Maybe it's a belief you were taught as a child. Maybe it's a cultural idea you never questioned. The Stoics would say, don't be a slave to your first impression. Epictetus taught that we have the power to pause, to examine, and to choose a different response. You are not a robot. You are not a puppet of your emotions. You are a rational being. You can interrupt the pattern. So next time you feel overwhelmed, don't rush to act. Don't explode. Don't shut down. Don't scroll your phone or distract yourself. Do the harder thing. Pause and investigate. Write it down if you need to. Create a journal and record your strongest emotional moments. What happened? What did you believe about it? What story did your mind create? Was it true? Was it useful? Did it help you, or did it hold you back? Over time, you'll start to notice patterns. You'll see that some triggers repeat. Some beliefs are outdated. Some reactions aren't really yours. They were passed down by family, media, or society. This is the real work. It's not easy, but it's how you begin to reclaim control. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that. We make up worst-case scenarios. We assume the worst about people's intentions. We interpret neutral events as personal attacks. And we suffer, not because life is cruel, but because our thoughts are untrained. You have to become the watcher of your own mind. You have to build a mental firewall. Every time a strong emotion shows up, ask yourself, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this mine? Or is it something I've absorbed without questioning it? This isn't about becoming cold. Stoicism is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding them. It's about creating space between stimulus and response, so you can choose, so you can act with reason, not impulse. Because when you stop being a slave to your interpretations, you stop being a slave to your emotions. And when you stop being a slave to your emotions, you become free. That freedom doesn't come overnight. It takes practice, it takes patience, but it starts with a single habit. Audit the source. Track your emotions to their root. Question what you find, and never, ever forget. You are not your first reaction. You are what you do with it. Number 2, train your mind through anticipatory detachment. What if I told you that most of the pain you feel in life doesn't come from what happens, but from how unprepared you are when it happens? Life is full of surprises, some good, some painful. But while you can't always control what comes your way, you can absolutely control how ready you are to face it. The Stoics had a name for this, premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. It sounds dark at first, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools for peace of mind. Here's the idea. Every morning, or even throughout the day, you take a moment to imagine what could go wrong. Not to scare yourself, not to be negative, but to prepare. To face the idea in your mind before you have to face it in real life. You imagine being insulted, losing something valuable, failing at something important, having plans fall apart, someone disappointing you, the world being unfair. Not because you want those things to happen, but because you want to be ready if they do. The Stoics believed that it's better to meet adversity with a steady hand than to be knocked over by it. And the best way to do that is to rehearse it ahead of time. Think about it like this. Soldiers train before battle. Athletes prepare before the game. Why shouldn't you train your mind for the emotional challenges ahead? If someone criticizes you, don't be shocked. Say to yourself, I expected this. Not everyone will agree with me. If you lose something you care about, remind yourself, I knew this day might come. I will feel the loss, but I will not be broken by it. If plans fall apart, don't panic. Instead say, I imagine this scenario. I have already practiced being calm in chaos. That's the power of anticipatory detachment. You don't imagine worst-case scenarios to live in fear. You do it to build resilience. You don't become cold. You become clear-headed. You don't avoid joy or hope. You simply anchor yourself in the understanding that anything can happen, and you will still stand tall. Marcus Aurelius did this every day. He reminded himself that he would meet people who were rude, selfish, arrogant, or ungrateful, and because he expected them, he didn't react with surprise or anger when he met them. He trained his emotions before life could test them. That's the kind of mindset you need to build. The modern world tells you to think positive, to expect the best. And yes, hope is important, But hope alone is not a strategy. Hope without preparation leads to weakness. But hope with preparation, that creates strength. That creates emotional stability. So, how do you train this? Simple. Every morning, take 2 minutes to picture your day ahead. Imagine something going wrong. Not everything. Just 1 or 2 challenges. Imagine a delay, a disagreement, a disappointment. Then visualize yourself responding with calm, breathing slowly, speaking with clarity, staying grounded. You don't try to remove the discomfort, you just practice being okay with it. That mental rehearsal begins to harden your mind. You start to see that life isn't always smooth. But that doesn't mean you fall apart. In fact, the more you normalize discomfort, the less power it has over you. And when the real challenge comes, you'll be ready. Not surprised, not panicked, just prepared. That's what Stoicism gives you. It doesn't make you emotionless. It makes you emotionally trained. So remember this, you don't wait for the storm to train your mind. You prepare while the skies are still clear. You don't wish for bad things, but you learn how to welcome them if they come, like an old opponent you've already sparred with in your thoughts. That's how you stop being ruled by emotions. That's how you stay free, even when life tries to shake you. Premeditatio malorum. Anticipate the blow, not to fear it, but to feel nothing when it lands. That is the Stoic way. Number 3, neutralize emotional triggers by naming them. Have you ever been caught in a moment where your emotions completely took over? You snapped, you shut down, you spiraled, and afterward you asked yourself, why did I react like that? It felt like you weren't even in control, like something else had taken the wheel. That something is your unexamined emotion. And the Stoics knew this very well. If you don't learn to name your emotions will name you. Let's break this down. When you're feeling angry, anxious, jealous, or frustrated, it's easy to get overwhelmed. The emotion grabs you, it floods your body, it takes over your thoughts, and suddenly you're inside the emotion, not watching it. You are the anger, you are the fear, you are the shame. But here's the truth. You are not your emotions. You have emotions, yes, but they are not your identity. They are passing mental states, not permanent definitions of who you are. And here's where the power of Stoicism comes in. The Stoics taught that one of the fastest ways to take your power back is through a very simple but powerful practice: naming the emotion. That's it. No fancy technique, no complicated process. Just stop in the moment and say to yourself, this is anger, this is fear, this is envy, this is sadness. It might sound too simple to work, but don't underestimate it. The moment you name the emotion, something magical happens. You create distance. You are no longer swimming inside the emotion. You are observing it. You've gone from being in the storm to watching it from the shore. And from that place of distance, you gain clarity. You're no longer reacting blindly. You're watching with awareness. And that's where control begins. Let's say someone insults you. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches. The urge to snap back rises. Pause. Say quietly in your mind, this is anger. And just like that, you've pulled yourself out of the emotional current. You've become the observer, not the reactor. You haven't suppressed the anger. You've acknowledged it. You haven't denied the feeling. You've labeled it. And because of that, it loses its power to control you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What he's saying is this: you don't have to fight the emotion, but you must recognize it. Why is this so important? Because the emotions you don't name will grow in silence. The ones you pretend aren't there will sneak up later, stronger, louder, more destructive. But when you name them early, when they're still small, you can meet them with calm, logic, and patience. This is emotional intelligence in its simplest form, not complicated psychology, just clarity. Try this. The next time you feel triggered, instead of reacting, pause and label. Say, "This is anxiety." Notice it, watch it, feel it without judgment. You'll see it lose its grip. You'll notice it rise and fall, like a wave that hits the shore and slowly fades. You may have felt helpless before, as if your feelings owned you, but from now on, you know better. You can watch without being swept away. This is not about being emotionless. Stoicism isn't cold, it's clear, it's aware. It teaches you to deal with emotions consciously, not automatically. So remember, the first step to breaking free from emotional slavery is to give the emotion a name. Once you name it, you can face it. Once you face it, you can work with it. No more hiding, no more drowning. Say it, name it, own it, then let it pass. Because the storm is not who you are. You are the sky watching it move. And that, my friend, is true strength. Number 4. Practice voluntary discomfort to weaken emotional dependence. Let's face it, most of us have gotten too comfortable. Comfort is everywhere. Warm beds, instant food, endless entertainment. With just one tap, one click, one swipe, we can avoid almost every kind of discomfort. And for a while, that feels good. But here's the truth no one tells you. Too much comfort weakens you. It softens your mind. It makes you fragile. And worst of all, it creates emotional dependence. The more you rely on comfort to feel okay, the more life will shake you when it takes that comfort away. This is why the Stoics practiced something that might sound strange to most people today: voluntary discomfort. They didn't wait for suffering to show up. They trained for it. They chose it. Not because they enjoyed pain, but because they knew that true freedom only comes when you are no longer ruled by the fear of discomfort. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, would purposely sleep on the floor, wear rough clothes, and eat the simplest food, even though he was a wealthy man. Why? Because he wanted to remind himself, "Is this what I fear?" He was training his mind to understand that hardship, when faced head-on, is not as terrifying as we imagine. He was building strength by letting go of his emotional need for constant pleasure. You can do the same. You don't need to suffer to grow, but you do need to challenge your need for ease. Every time you choose to step into discomfort, even in small ways, you train your mind to become stronger. Take a cold shower, not because you have to, but because it's hard. Skip a meal, not because there's no food, but to remind yourself that you're not controlled by hunger. Say no to that luxury you crave, not because you're broke, but because you want to prove you don't need it. These acts may seem small, but they're powerful. They chip away at the false belief that comfort equals happiness. They show you that you can endure more than you think. And once you stop needing constant comfort to feel okay, you unlock a new level of freedom. Imagine this. The Wi-Fi goes out. Your food order is delayed. The weather is bad. You're inconvenienced. For most people today, that's enough to ruin their mood. Why? Because they've built their emotional balance on convenience. When that's taken away, even for a moment, they break. But not you, not anymore. When you train with discomfort, you become unshakable. You don't panic when things don't go your way. You don't crumble when life gets cold or hard or unfair. You stay calm, focused, strong. That's what Stoicism gives you. not a life without pain, but a mind that isn't owned by it. And here's something powerful. Voluntary discomfort also makes you more grateful. When you go without something, warmth, food, softness, ease, you appreciate it deeply when it returns. Gratitude becomes sharper. Your senses come alive. The little things become gifts, not expectations. So starting today, make it a habit. Pick one small thing every day that makes you uncomfortable and do it on purpose. Walk instead of drive. Turn off your phone for a few hours. Wake up earlier. Don't eat that dessert. Take the stairs. Speak up when it's hard. These aren't punishments. They are training. Each one builds a mental muscle that most people never develop. And with each choice, your emotional dependency on comfort gets weaker. And that's the goal. You're not trying to escape comfort forever. You're trying to make sure that you own it, not the other way around. Because the moment you stop needing comfort to be okay, you become free. You stop fearing hard times. You stop needing the world to be perfect. You start becoming someone who can face anything. And that, my friend, is a rare kind of strength. So go ahead. Practice voluntary discomfort. Not because life is easy, but because you are training to be strong enough for when it isn't. Number 5. Use the view from above to regain perspective. Sometimes life feels overwhelming. One small problem can ruin your entire day. A delay, a rejection, a careless comment. Suddenly you're emotionally hijacked. Your chest tightens, your mind races, and everything feels urgent and massive. But is it really that big? Or are you just too close to see clearly? The Stoics had a technique for this, and it's one of their most powerful tools, the view from above. What does that mean? It means mentally zooming out, way out. Imagine yourself rising above the situation, above your house, your neighborhood, your city. Keep going. Picture yourself floating above your country, then into the sky, higher and higher until you're in space, looking down at the earth, a tiny blue ball spinning in silence. And somewhere on that little dot is you. One person, facing one moment, one problem in the middle of a vast, ancient and unknowable universe. When you practice this, something clicks. Your breathing slows down. Your heart steadies. Your problem? It's still there, but it's not everything anymore. It's smaller, sharper, manageable. This is the power of perspective. The view from above reminds you that no emotion, no event, no mistake is the end of the world, because the world is much, much bigger than anything you're going through. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, used this exact exercise in his daily practice. He reminded himself often to rise above human affairs and look at life as a whole. He said to picture the past, the present, and the future all at once, to imagine thousands of people before him who faced the same struggles, and thousands after who will do the same. When you look at life this way, you become calmer, not because you stop caring, but because you stop exaggerating. You stop thinking your current frustration is permanent. You stop giving every emotion permission to dominate your thoughts. And that's what Stoicism is about. Not becoming emotionless, but refusing to be ruled by emotions. The view from above gives you that power. The next time you're stressed or emotionally triggered, pause. Close your eyes and zoom out. Ask yourself, how much will this matter in a week, a month, a year? In the scope of your entire life, does this deserve to control your peace right now? Probably not. Most of our overreactions come from zooming in too close. When you forget the big picture, everything feels like a disaster, but when you rise above it, Even for a moment, you regain balance. You return to yourself. This is not escapism. It's not detachment from life. It's clarity. It's seeing the moment with fresh eyes and understanding that while you may feel a lot, you are not your feelings. You are the one observing them. So remember, your mind is like a lens. Sometimes, all it takes to break free from anxiety or anger is to adjust the zoom. Look down from above. Breathe. Smile. You are not your worst moment. You are a soul standing on a rock floating in space, and that, right there, is the freedom most people never realize they have. Number 6. Question the utility of the emotion. Let's be honest. Emotions can be powerful. Sometimes they inspire you. Sometimes they protect you. But sometimes they take over and push you in the wrong direction. They cloud your thinking. They stir up fear, anger, jealousy, or despair. And in those moments, it's easy to believe you have to feel that way, like the emotion is in charge. But the Stoics would ask you something very different. Is this emotion useful? Is it helping you make a better decision? Is it guiding you toward wisdom, reason, or virtue? Or is it just noise, clouding your judgment, rushing you into action, or draining your energy? This question is simple, but powerful. Let's say you're feeling angry. Ask yourself, is this anger helping me solve the problem, or is it making things worse? You're feeling anxious? Is this anxiety pushing me toward a solution, or is it just keeping me stuck in fear? You're feeling jealous? Is this jealousy teaching me something useful, or just making me bitter? The moment you stop and question the emotion, you create a pause. And that pause is everything. It gives you space to think. It reminds you that not every feeling deserves your full attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Does what's happening keep you from acting with justice, generosity, self-control, sanity, prudence, honesty, humility, and straightforwardness? If not, then don't get upset." In other words, if the emotion doesn't help you live with virtue, it's probably not worth holding on to. This doesn't mean you should suppress your emotions or pretend they're not there. It means you become more selective. You decide which emotions get to stay and which ones need to go. You become the filter. You take back control. Think about how many arguments, regrets, and poor decisions could have been avoided if someone had just asked, "Is this feeling helping me right now?" And here's the truth. Most of the time, the answer is no. That burst of anger, it didn't fix the problem. That spiral of fear, it didn't prepare you. It just drained you. That feeling of envy, it didn't help you grow. It just distracted you from your own path. So what do? You acknowledge the emotion. You name it. Then you ask the Stoic question, is this helping me? If it is, great. Use it. Let it guide you. But if it's not, drop it. Let it go. Don't feed it. Don't entertain it. Don't build a story around it. The Stoics didn't believe emotions were evil. They just believed that emotions should serve reason, not replace it. Emotions are like fire. When controlled, they can cook your food and warm your home. But left unchecked, they'll burn the house down. This is your reminder. You are not your emotions. You are the one who gets to evaluate them. You get to keep what's useful and release what's not. So next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and ask, is this emotion helping me make a better decision? And if the answer is no, you already know what to do. Let it go. Return to clarity. Return to calm. Return to reason. Because that's where your power is. Not in reacting, but in choosing. Not in being driven by emotion, but in driving through it with purpose. That's the Stoic way. That's your way now. Number 7. Embrace the dichotomy of control with action, not apathy. There's a common misunderstanding about Stoicism. People hear the phrase, "focus only on what you can control," and think it means you should do nothing. Be passive, accept everything. Shrug your shoulders and walk away. But that is not Stoicism. That is apathy. And the Stoics were never apathetic. The real Stoic approach is about focused action, taking powerful steps toward what matters, but only in the areas where your influence actually exists. You don't give up. You don't withdraw. You act with intention, with effort, with purpose. And then, when the result is outside your control, you let it go. Epictetus explained it clearly. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. That's it. That's the Stoic formula. And if you understand it deeply, it changes how you live. You stop wasting energy on things that don't belong to you. The weather, the past, other people's opinions, external rewards, random outcomes. These things are not in your hands, so you don't chase them, fear them, or base your happiness on them. But everything inside your control, your thoughts, your choices, your actions, your discipline, your effort, those become sacred. You give them your full focus. You act with excellence, not because it guarantees success, but because it is the right thing to do. That's the Stoic way. Let's be clear. Stoicism doesn't ask you to sit back and accept whatever happens. It asks you to rise up and give your best effort where it counts. If you're sick, you take care of your health. If you have a challenge at work, you bring focus and clarity. If a relationship needs mending, you show up with honesty and responsibility. You take the wheel in areas where your hands still hold power. Then, once you've done your part, you release the outcome. No regret, no stress, no attachment. Why? Because the outcome never belonged to you. Only the action did. This mindset isn't passive. It's precise. It teaches you how to stop bleeding energy into things you can't change, and how to channel all your strength into the things you can. Think of an archer. The Stoic archer doesn't control the wind, the movement of the target, or even if the arrow will hit. But what can they control? The way they train, the form of their shot, the steadiness of their breath, the release. They aim with discipline, they shoot with excellence, and then they let go. You are the archer. Life is the target. Control your shot, not the result. So ask yourself, right now, am I focused on what I can do? Or am I obsessing over something I can't control? Am I taking action or just worrying in circles? If it's in your control, act, step up, do the hard thing, be courageous. If it's not in your control, let it go, breathe, release it, and move forward. This is not weakness, it's wisdom. This mindset will free you from so much anxiety, disappointment, and wasted effort. You'll stop trying to force the world to obey your plans and start building strength in your own response. Because when you act with clarity and purpose, even in an unpredictable world, you are still in control of what matters most, yourself. So remember this. The dichotomy of control is not a reason to do less. It's a reason to do what matters better. It is not about stepping back. It's about stepping in, with full effort, clear focus, and no fear of the outcome. That's not apathy, that's power, that's Stoicism in action. Number 8. Internalize the concept of oikeiosis. There's a reason why so many of your emotions feel chaotic. It's because you're often pulled in different directions. your desires pulling one way, your fears another. You want to do what's right, but you also want to feel comfortable. You want peace, but you chase things that disturb it. And so your mind becomes divided, conflicted, tired. The ancient Stoics believed that this inner conflict happens when you're out of alignment with nature. Not the trees and rivers kind of nature, but human nature, rational nature, moral nature. The part of you that was made to live with reason, with clarity, with virtue. They had a word for the process of returning to that harmony, oikeosis. It's not a word you hear every day, but it holds deep power. It means to come into alignment with who you truly are, with the order of nature, and with the universal reason that governs everything. Let's break that down. You were not made to be ruled by fear, greed, or rage. You were not born to live in confusion or chaos. You were made to live with understanding, with patience, with justice, with courage. You were made to grow into the person you were meant to be, not through chasing pleasure or avoiding pain, but through living by principle. When you begin to internalize oikeosis, you stop seeing yourself as separate from reason. You start to see yourself as an extension of it. Your decisions become clearer. Your actions become steadier. And something incredible happens. The emotions that once controlled you start to lose their grip. Why? Because irrational emotions can't survive in a rational mind. When you think clearly, you don't panic. When you live according to nature, you don't envy. When you pursue virtue, you stop chasing things that don't matter. You begin to feel at home with yourself. That's what oikeosis really means, to make familiar. You make the rational path your default setting. You make wisdom feel natural. You stop fighting yourself and start flowing with the order of life. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process, a daily realignment. Every time you choose reason over reaction, virtue over impulse, clarity over chaos, you are practicing oikeosis. You are returning to your true nature. Marcus Aurelius said, "What is your profession? Being a good person." That's the goal. That's the path. Not being liked, not being rich, not being right all the time, but being good, being rational, being in harmony with what life is. And once you begin living this way, your emotions change. You'll still feel things, but you'll process them differently. Anger becomes brief, fear becomes manageable, desires no longer control you. You don't need to force peace. It begins to grow on its own. Think of it like tuning an instrument. When you're out of tune, everything sounds off. Nothing feels right. But when you adjust, slowly, deliberately, each part starts to align. The result? Harmony, balance, clarity. That's what oikeosis gives you. So the next time you feel lost, ask yourself, am I living in alignment with nature, with reason, with virtue? If the answer is no, pause, reset, step back into the path. Not because it's easy, but because it's the only path that leads to real freedom. This is not about being perfect. It's about getting closer to who you were meant to be, bit by bit, choice by choice. And every time you do, irrational emotions begin to fade, not because you fought them, but because you outgrew them. That is oikeosis. That is Stoicism. That is you coming home to yourself. Number 9. Apply the oblique strategy of response delay. How many times have you said or done something in the heat of the moment, only to regret it minutes later? You snapped back with harsh words. You made a decision too fast. You reacted emotionally without thinking, and afterward you wished you had paused, just for a second. The Stoics knew this moment well. They understood that your first reaction is rarely your best one. The emotional brain is fast, impulsive, and loud, but the rational brain? It's quiet, and it takes a little more time to show up. So how do you create that space between the impulse and the action? You use what's called an oblique strategy, a mental move that interrupts the pattern and gives your higher mind time to respond. And the simplest version of this is to build a preset pause into your reactions. A phrase, a ritual, a step-back moment. It might sound like, pause and consider. Hold on. Let me think. Not yet. That's it. That simple act of naming the pause gives you power. It inserts a space between the feeling and the reaction. And in that space, your rational mind can breathe. Let's say someone insults you. Your gut wants to fire back. But instead you say your phrase, pause and consider. And you pause. You observe the feeling instead of becoming it. You check in with your values. You ask, what would the wise version of me do right now? Not the emotional version, not the ego, but the calm, clear, rational self. That's the goal. Because the moment you delay your response, even by a few seconds, you start taking back control. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them." And judgments happen fast. That's why we need to slow them down, not permanently, just long enough to let reason catch up. This is especially powerful in moments of conflict. Instead of arguing right away, say, let's revisit this in 10 minutes. Or even, I want to respond well. Give me a moment. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. You're not avoiding. You're preparing. You're refusing to be a puppet pulled by emotion. You're choosing to be the thinker, the responder, the master of your mind. And it works outside of conversations too. Before sending that angry message, pause. Before making a decision out of fear, pause. Before giving in to an urge you'll regret, pause. The Stoics didn't want you to stop feeling. They wanted you to stop being ruled by your feelings. And this strategy is one of the simplest ways to practice that. It's not about being slow. It's about being steady. You can even make this physical. Take a breath, stand up and walk. Splash cold water on your face. Look out the window. These micro-rituals create a moment for reason to return. And every time you do this, you get stronger. Your mind starts to expect the pause, the space, the chance to choose. You'll notice your reactions become wiser, calmer, more in line with who you want to be. That's the power of a few seconds. That's the strength in a simple phrase. So from now on, carry this strategy with you everywhere. Pause and consider. Let me think first. Not yet. Use it when emotions rise. Use it when pressure builds. Use it when you feel like reacting immediately. Because the truth is, your greatest strength may not be in what you say or do, but in the few silent seconds you give yourself before deciding. And those seconds, that pause, that's where wisdom lives. Number 10. Turn setbacks into Stoic drills. You will face setbacks. You will be tested. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Emotions will rise. That's not a flaw in life. That is life. But what if every challenge, every emotional storm, wasn't a problem to avoid, but a drill to practice? This is how the Stoics saw the world. They didn't see hardship as a curse. They saw it as a training ground, a chance to sharpen the mind, a moment to build strength. Every emotional disruption, every frustration, every discomfort was an opportunity to train the virtues they valued most: patience, clarity, humility, courage, discipline. Think about it like this. A soldier doesn't become strong during peace. They become strong by training through resistance, by showing up to the drill again and again until their reflexes are sharp and their mind is steady. You're no different. Life will throw you situations that stir anger, that trigger fear, that wake up pride, envy, or insecurity. You have a choice: react blindly or use it as a stoic drill. Someone insults you. That's a drill in patience. You lose something you cared about. That's a drill in detachment. Plans fall apart. That's a drill in flexibility. You're rejected. That's a drill in humility. You're overwhelmed. That's a drill in clarity. Each moment is a mental gym. Each feeling is a weight you lift. You can either complain about the weight or get stronger from lifting it. Marcus Aurelius faced war, betrayal, illness, and the burden of leading an empire. But instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he asked, "How can I use this?" His private writings weren't filled with self-pity. They were filled with reminders to remain calm, to hold steady, to stay in control, because every hardship was his personal stoic drill. You can adopt the same mindset. You don't need life to be perfect. You need to become the kind of person who can train through imperfection. So the next time you feel overwhelmed or emotionally thrown off, stop and ask, what virtue is this situation asking me to practice? Maybe it's endurance, maybe it's discipline, maybe it's letting go, and then treat it like a workout. It might not feel good in the moment, but it's making you stronger, more grounded, more capable. You're not here to escape difficulty. You're here to use it. This way of thinking transforms how you live. Suddenly, traffic isn't just an annoyance, it's a patience drill. An argument isn't just stress, it's a test of self-control. A failure isn't the end, it's a chance to learn, reset, and try again with wisdom. This is how you become mentally unshakable. Not by avoiding difficulty, but by training through it. Not by waiting for peace, but by building peace within yourself through repetition, reflection, and resilience. So from now on, when life hits you, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What am I meant to practice right now?" Your life is your dojo. Your emotions are your weights. Your daily struggles are your stoic training sessions. And with each one, you get stronger, not in theory, but in action. Because emotional strength isn't built in comfort, it's built in the fire, by those who choose to train while others collapse. This is your training ground. This is your stoic drill. Number 11. Refuse emotional contagion through empathic discipline. It's one thing to manage your own emotions, but what about other people's emotions? What about the anger they throw at you, the panic they carry into the room, the sadness, drama, or anxiety that radiates off them like heat? The truth is, emotions are contagious. If you're not careful, someone else's storm can become your storm. Their fear becomes your fear. Their frustration becomes your tension. Their chaos takes root in your mind. And suddenly, you're reacting to feelings that weren't even yours to begin with. The Stoics understood this trap, and they built something powerful to deal with it: empathic discipline. Yes, you can feel for others. Yes, you can care. But you don't have to absorb their state. You don't have to catch their emotional virus. Empathy is human, but boundaries are wise. Empathic discipline means you can stand with someone without being dragged down by them. You can offer support without losing your center. You can witness suffering without letting it steal your peace. How? By mentally separating your calm from their chaos. You draw a clear line in your mind. You say to yourself, Their emotion is theirs. My response is mine. Let's say someone around you is panicking. Instead of panicking with them, you slow down, you breathe, you listen. But inside, you stay rooted. You don't let your nervous system mirror theirs. You stay grounded, and by doing so, you become a steady presence, not part of the problem, but part of the solution. Or someone vents their anger at you. You feel the heat rising. You want to snap back. But instead, you pause. You remind yourself, their anger belongs to them. I will not carry it inside me. That choice, right there, is power. Epictetus said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. In other words, it's not just their emotion, it's your reaction to it that gives it power. Empathic discipline breaks that chain. You stop being a sponge and become a shield. You don't shut people out, but you stop taking everything in. You filter the energy you allow in your space. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you clear, because from that place of clarity, you can help better. Speak wiser, act stronger, not from emotion, but from wisdom. So next time you feel someone else's energy flooding your system, pause. Put up a mental wall, not a wall of judgment, but a wall of calm awareness. Say silently, I see your pain, I hear your fear, but I will not carry it. Instead of reacting, respond. Instead of absorbing, observe. And if someone tries to bait you into drama, remind yourself, they are acting from their own storm. I will remain in my sky. Empathic discipline is a daily practice. Sometimes you'll slip. Sometimes someone's emotions will get inside. That's okay. Just notice it. Reset. Return to your center. Because the more you practice this, the more peaceful you become. Not because life is quiet, but because you have built silence inside yourself. And when you can hold on to that silence, even in the middle of someone else's noise, that's not detachment. That's mastery. That's Stoicism in its highest form, strong, calm, and fully present. So remember this: care for others, but protect your peace. Help others, but don't carry what's not yours. Feel deeply, but stand firmly. Empathic discipline is how you stay kind without losing control. And that, right there, is emotional strength. Number 12. Master the preferred indifference. You want to be healthy. You want to succeed. You want comfort, safety, recognition, maybe even wealth. There's nothing wrong with that. The Stoics never said you had to reject these things. They simply said, don't tie your happiness to them. This is where the idea of preferred indifference comes in. It's one of the most misunderstood Stoic teachings and one of the most freeing. Here's what it means. Things like health, money, reputation, or success are preferred. Of course they are. It's better to be healthy than sick. It's better to have money than to be broke. It's better to be comfortable than to suffer. But, and this is the key, they are still indifferent to your virtue. In other words, they don't make you good. They don't make you better. They don't make you happy in a way that lasts, because all of them can be taken away, and none of them define your character. Virtue is the only thing that truly matters to a Stoic. Your wisdom, your courage, your discipline, your justice. That's who you are. That's where your real strength lives. So yes, seek health, build success, enjoy comfort. But understand this: if they are taken from you, you are still you. You don't collapse. You don't lose your identity. You don't spiral into despair. because your peace was never built on something temporary. Let's make it real. If you get sick, it's not ideal, but it's not the end. It's a chance to practice patience and strength. If you lose your job or fail at something, it's not what you wanted, but it's not who you are. It's a lesson. If someone ignores you or mocks you, it stings, but it's not a reason to forget your principles. If the comfort goes away, your self-respect doesn't have to go with it. This mindset creates incredible emotional resilience. When you desire something, ask yourself, would I still be okay without it? If the answer is no, then you're holding it too tightly. You've confused a preference with a necessity, and once you do that, life has power over you. The Stoics wanted you to enjoy what you have, but be ready to let go. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." And Epictetus warned against attaching your peace to anything you can lose. So how do you live this? You still strive, you still aim high, you still take care of your health, your career, your family. But underneath it all, you remind yourself, these things are not who I am, they are external. I will enjoy them, but I will not be owned by them. And when loss comes, as it always does, you don't shatter. You bend, you adapt, you stay whole. That's what it means to master the preferred indifference. You hold things lightly, you appreciate them deeply, but you never confuse them with your soul. This mindset doesn't kill motivation, it sharpens it, because now you're free to pursue goals without fear. You're no longer attached, you're no longer emotionally fragile, you're strong, steady, and free. So remember, health is good, success is good, comfort is good, but none of them are essential, none of them are virtue, and none of them define your worth. If you can enjoy gain without arrogance and face loss without collapse, then you've mastered what few people ever will. You've mastered the preferred indifference, and with that, you walk through life calm, grounded, and truly free. Number 13. Define yourself by roles, not outcomes. Most people define themselves by what happens to them, how much praise they get, how much money they make, how often they succeed. But the Stoics saw that as a trap, because once you base your worth on outcomes, your peace is no longer in your hands. You succeed, you feel proud. You fail, you feel worthless. Someone praises you, you're on top of the world. Someone criticizes you, you fall apart. It's emotional whiplash, and it's exhausting. The Stoic alternative is clear. Define yourself by your role, not the result. Ask yourself, what role am I here to play? Not, how do I make everyone happy, or how do I guarantee success? But, what does this role require of me right now? You might be a parent, a teacher, a friend, a student, a leader, a healer, a worker. Each of these roles comes with certain values. A parent must show love, patience, and guidance. A leader must act with courage and fairness. A student must stay open, curious, and disciplined. You don't control whether your child listens today. You don't control whether your co-workers agree. You don't even control if your efforts succeed every time. But you do control how you show up, with integrity, with effort, with virtue. That is where your identity lives, not in applause or recognition, but in how you carry yourself in the role you've been given. Let's say you're giving a speech. The crowd might love it, or they might ignore it. That's outcome. But the real question is, did you speak with clarity, with honesty, with purpose? That's your role. That's your standard. You can't always win. You can't always be praised, but you can always act according to your values. Epictetus said it best. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The Stoics weren't interested in results. They were interested in character. And this mindset gives you peace, because now your success is measured by what's in your control. Did you do your duty? Did you stay true to your principles? Did you act with courage, humility, and reason? If yes, you've already won, even if no one sees it, even if the result doesn't look like victory. Think of a Stoic like a skilled actor. They don't get to choose the script. They don't control the reviews, but they show up and perform their role to the best of their ability. That's all that matters. They know that character is the real achievement. So ask yourself daily, what is my role in this moment? And follow it, not for fame, not for comfort, not for approval, but because living with virtue is the only true success. Let go of the outcome. Let go of needing to be liked. Let go of needing everything to work out perfectly. Focus instead on your role, your values, your part to play, and play it well, because when you define yourself by your role, you become stable, steady. You stop chasing the wind and start standing firm. And that's how you live like a Stoic, not through results, but through responsibility. That's who you are, that's what you control, and that's more than enough. Number 14, build a mental Seneca cabinet. When life gets stressful, your emotions try to take the wheel. Your heart races, your thoughts blur. You feel overwhelmed. And in those moments, it's easy to forget everything you've learned. You lose perspective. You react instead of respond. But what if you had a personal armory, a mental cabinet, filled with wisdom that you could open at any time? That's exactly what the Stoics practiced, and it's what you should start doing too. We'll call it your Seneca cabinet. A mental shelf where you store go-to phrases, reminders, and meditations from Stoic thinkers. Not just to read when life is calm, but to revisit when life is not. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they all carried certain lines with them, like tools. Phrases that brought them back to center. Anchors that stopped emotional hijack before it took over. Here's how it works. Let's say you feel anger rising. Instead of reacting, you mentally open the cabinet and pull out a line. You always own the option of having no opinion. Marcus Aurelius. Suddenly, you remember, you don't have to take the bait. You don't have to be pulled into every conflict. You feel anxious about the future. Open the cabinet. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. And just like that, you remember most fear is just fiction your mind creates. You're facing something unfair. You pull out. It is not things that upset us, but our judgments about them. Epictetus. Now you're grounded again. You've regained clarity. The point is not to memorize hundreds of quotes. The point is to keep a small collection of wisdom that speaks directly to your emotional weaknesses. Words that cut through the noise and speak straight to the soul. Words that remind you who you are and how you want to respond. You can write them down. You can recite them silently. You can keep them on your phone, in your journal, or just in your mind. What matters is that they're ready when the moment strikes. Because in moments of stress, we don't rise to our best intentions. We fall to our training. And if your mind is trained to reach for wisdom, you'll respond with wisdom. If not, you'll default to emotion. This mental Seneca cabinet becomes your emotional immune system. It fights panic with perspective. It calms anger with clarity. It challenges ego with humility. The Stoics didn't just read philosophy, they carried it. into the courts, into the battlefields, into their families, into their grief. And so can you. Pick 3 to 5 quotes that truly speak to you. Not just fancy lines, but truths that feel like they were written for you. Read them daily. Repeat them often. Let them sink in so deeply that when life pushes, your mind knows exactly where to go. And remember, the quotes are not magic. They don't solve the problem for you. They guide you back to reason. They help you return to the path when emotions try to lead you astray. So build your Seneca cabinet. Keep it close. Use it often. Because when emotions rise, you won't panic. You'll open the drawer, find the right line, and return to stillness. That's Stoicism in practice. That's mental armor. That's peace on demand. Number 15. Write a Stoic nightly reflection log. Your day is over. The world quiets down. The noise fades. And now you're left with yourself, your thoughts, your actions, your emotions. This is not just the end of your day. This is your training ground. The Stoics believed that the most important time to grow isn't during the chaos, it's after it. When the day is done and you have space to look back, not with guilt or pride, but with clarity and discipline. That's where the Stoic nightly reflection log comes in. Every night, before sleep, sit down and ask yourself, where did I act well today? Where did I lose control? Which emotions helped me, and which ones took over? You're not doing this to shame yourself. You're not doing this to celebrate yourself either. You're doing it to observe, to learn. You might realize, today I lost my temper during a meeting, or I panicked over something that wasn't truly urgent, or even, I stayed calm during a tough conversation. That was progress. These small reflections help you see the emotional patterns shaping your life, and once you see them, you can begin to change them. Seneca practiced this same habit every night. He wrote, I will put myself under questioning. What bad habit did I cure today? What fault did I resist? In what respect am I better? That's not perfectionism. That's self-mastery. The more often you do this, the more awareness you build. You begin to notice which situations trigger your anger, your fear, your pride. You start catching the moment before the emotional reaction. And little by little you replace impulse with intention. You become someone who learns from each day, not just survives it. Think of it like sharpening a blade. Each night you take time to run your thoughts across the stone. You smooth the rough edges. You examine the cuts. You prepare yourself for tomorrow. This doesn't have to take long. 5 to 10 minutes of quiet reflection is enough. Sit in silence. Think about your emotional responses. Ask yourself if you acted with virtue. Ask yourself what you can improve. And then write it down, honestly, without judgment. You can end with a Stoic reminder to guide your rest. Something like, let go of what you can't control, or tomorrow I begin again. This signals to your mind that the day is complete and that tomorrow you will return wiser. Over time, this log becomes more than a habit. It becomes your emotional blueprint. You'll begin to see progress where you once saw failure, and even your worst moments become teachers. Most people repeat the same emotional mistakes because they never take time to reflect, but you will, and that will set you apart. One day, you'll notice how you handled something with calm that used to overwhelm you. You'll respond to stress with focus. You'll walk through disappointment with grace. And when you sit down that night and write in your journal, you'll see it. Proof that you're changing. So make it a ritual. End your day not in distraction, but in reflection. because the last moments of your night shape the strength of your next morning. This is how Stoics end the day, not by avoiding it, but by owning it. And that's how emotional strength is built, one honest reflection at a time. You've just walked through 15 Stoic lessons that, if practiced daily, will change the way you respond to life forever. You've learned to pause instead of react, to question your emotions before obeying them, to zoom out, reflect, and choose your actions with clarity. You've been reminded that discipline builds freedom and comfort builds weakness. That emotional mastery isn't about feeling nothing. It's about owning everything you feel, and that your peace comes not from what happens, but from how you respond. These tools aren't theories, they are drills, practices, weapons for the battlefield of daily life. So use them, revisit them, and most of all, live them. Because you weren't born to be ruled by every emotion. You were born to rule yourself. Drop a comment and complete this sentence. Today, I take back control by... Whether it's by pausing before reacting, questioning a feeling, or writing your nightly reflection, write it down. Because once you write it, you make it real. You're exhausted from dealing with problems that feel overwhelming. What you truly desire are straightforward, effective ways to handle 93% of the challenges that confront you every day. In this video, we'll introduce you to a powerful set of transformative phrases that can empower you to face any difficulty with courage and clarity. These inspiring statements are designed to give you the mental boost you need to navigate adversity with strength, make wiser decisions, and gain greater mental clarity. I encourage you to stay with us until the very end, because that's where you'll find some of the most valuable insights, lessons that can fortify your plans and help you stand strong no matter what life throws at you. If this is your first time visiting the channel, I kindly ask you to support us by subscribing and liking the video. Your support helps me continue sharing more content like this, rooted in the art of facing life's challenges with calm, learning how to live in harmony with nature, and cultivating virtues that elevate our inner lives day by day. Every teaching shared here takes you on a deeper journey of self-awareness and personal evolution. Discover the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy and learn how to apply it meaningfully in the modern world. If you want to dive deeper, check out our ebook, Stoic Mindset, a guide to contemporary life. The link is available in the first pinned comment. Each insight gives us the chance to awaken a higher consciousness about ourselves and the world around us, pushing us to rise above the mundane and strive toward a richer, more purposeful life. Let's begin with a truth. Being honest won't win you a crowd, but it will connect you with the right people. Don't waste your time worrying about what others think. Most people are only focused on themselves anyway. Every second you spend comparing your life with someone else's is a moment lost forever. Let go of emotional attachment. People don't always change. Even your closest friends can become strangers over time. Find contentment within yourself. If your happiness depends on someone else's presence, then you're placing your strength in something fragile. Share your growth. Set your own goals. That way, motivation will follow naturally. Don't be afraid of solitude. Being alone with yourself is far more rewarding than surrounding yourself with mediocrity. Often those who expect the most from you are the ones who give the least in return. Take your responsibilities seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. Fear isn't your enemy. It simply reveals what truly matters to you. Never make lasting decisions while you're trapped in temporary emotions. If you place someone on a pedestal, they'll only be able to look down on you. People offer advice based on their limited viewpoint. You don't have to voice every thought you have, and don't do anything you'll need to lie about later. Light travels faster than sound. This is why some people appear intelligent until they start talking. Stop chasing happiness outside yourself. It has always been within you. You owe nothing to your past self, but you owe everything to who you are right now. Self-care begins when you realize that you are your own greatest hurdle. Your parents may not have had academic credentials, but that doesn't mean their advice lacked wisdom. Stop rejecting their guidance with pride. Move through life with quiet confidence. Don't overthink. It complicates situations, heightens worry, and makes things worse than they actually are. Before letting anger control you, ask yourself if what's upsetting you will matter in 10 years. Your body is the only one you'll ever have. It's incredibly strong, but it can only return what you give to it. If someone makes a big show of telling the truth, you can bet they're not being honest. Your power lies in what you choose to do with your time. You'll never mess up your role in life by being authentic. Don't compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Missing someone doesn't mean you need to bring them back into your life. Sometimes missing them is just part of letting them go. You may first be drawn to a partner's appearance, but one day you'll realize it's their character that shapes the life you share, especially the kind of children you raise. You can't have everything. Life requires sacrifice. To find out who your true friends are, pay attention to who speaks positively about you behind your back, and truthfully, to your face. Letting go is incredibly hard, but it's also one of the most liberating things you'll ever do. The more you confront fear and collect victories over it, the more fearless you'll become. Don't make someone your priority if they treat you as an afterthought. If you try to be everyone's friend, you'll end up betraying yourself. You were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them accordingly. The most powerful truth you must embrace is change. You don't live just once. You live many lives within this one lifetime. Life becomes more beautiful and fulfilling when you learn to see the good in others. You can cut down all the flowers, but you can't stop spring from coming. Let people's actions speak louder than their words. They will always show you more through what they do than what they say. Everything you do connects to something else. Those dots will one day form a pattern that gives you understanding and direction. Commitment gets you started. Consistency moves you forward, and persistence ensures you don't stop. You can fall in love more than once. So don't fall apart when someone leaves. Sometimes, that's life's way of making space for something better. If someone tries to bring you down, it's a sign you're above them. Don't make promises you don't intend to keep. What means little to you might mean everything to someone else. Going back to an ex is like showering and then putting on your old, dirty clothes. Keep your mind open and act like an artist, but learn and adapt like a scientist. Your purpose isn't something you find in a distant place. You create it right where you are by pouring meaning into your present life. Everything can change in a single moment, so rather than coasting through life, appreciate every moment and do as much good with it as you can. You become truly rich, not through possessions, but through meaningful experiences. Don't overthink. Act. Clarity is born from movement, not endless contemplation. You can't think your way into a new life. You must live your way into it. Your life reflects your mindset. Chasing happiness leads to disappointment until you realize that happiness is the path, not the destination. All you have is now. What you do with it matters. Be wise enough to ask for guidance, but even wiser in choosing who you ask. If you want to leave something behind, let it be your ego. Gratitude transforms the way you see the world. The more grateful you are, the more beauty you'll notice, the more generous life becomes, and the happier you'll feel. You may not forget all the painful moments, but eventually you'll stop letting them trouble you. Until that day comes, don't stress over them too much. Success isn't about having all the resources. It's about how creative and resourceful you are with what you have. Fear dictates most people's lives and creeps into their decisions. Learn to conquer it, manage it, and celebrate your strength every time you overcome it. You can't reach new shores without leaving the safety of the shore. It's never too late to pursue the things that matter most to you. Don't let pessimistic voices discourage you. Most of the time, they're reflecting their own limitations, not yours. Whether you or someone else caused a situation, don't dwell in anger. Meet the challenge. Others will always project their own fears and doubts onto you, so build mental armor to protect yourself from their noise. Never share your past with those who can't understand it. It holds meaning only you truly grasp, and some people might misuse it. Your future can be completely different from your present if you take action. But if you keep crying about what's not working today, tomorrow will be no different. Sometimes life forces you to confront your identity. But if you never stop to reflect, you may never discover who you truly are. Life won't go as planned, and that's not just okay. It's often the best thing that can happen. I remember sitting alone, feeling like I had completely hit rock bottom. But it was in that dark moment that I crossed paths with people who shared powerful lessons with me, lessons that helped me rise again. And perhaps these same lessons are what your heart needs right now. People aren't necessarily for you or against you, they're simply for themselves. What lies ahead is often better than what's already behind you. Sometimes you have to walk away, let go of certain people, and allow relationships to come to their natural end. Your real friends? They show up when you're at your lowest. The only way out of pain is through it. And believe me, you're much stronger than you give yourself credit for. You've made it through every hard day you've ever faced, undefeated. No one will ever take care of you the way you can take care of yourself. Once you confront your fears, you'll see they were never as terrifying as you imagined. Challenges will arise. Miracles will too. If you believe you can, you're already halfway there. Not every person you meet will have pure intentions. On the days when motivation escapes you, those are often the days you need to push yourself the most. The only things truly within your control are your thoughts, actions, and emotions. Trying to change others rarely works. Difficult experiences often mold ordinary people into extraordinary versions of themselves. The future belongs to those who hold on to the beauty of their dreams. Sometimes the only way to discover your true path is to let the winds of change carry you. Never stifle your own growth for the sake of anyone else. Pain is a part of life, but suffering is something we choose. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and far wiser than you know. Trust yourself. You've survived so much already, and you will survive whatever comes next. Often, we don't realize how strong we are until being strong is our only option. Change isn't something to fear. It's an invitation to really live. Whether we grow stronger or more miserable, both require effort. So choose the effort that uplifts you. Set expectations only for yourself. Life doesn't always play fair. Sometimes liars and cheaters seem to get ahead, but even when it all looks hopeless, keep fighting, keep hoping, keep wishing. Change doesn't happen by chance. It happens by making new decisions and putting in the hard work. Honesty is a rare and valuable gift. Don't expect it from people who treat life cheaply. When your patience is rewarded, you'll look back and realize the wait wasn't long at all. You must learn to love yourself before you can truly love others. When pain comes, it's there to teach, not to torment you pointlessly. Wisdom often stems from experience, and experience often comes from making poor choices. Don't allow your past memories to confine your future potential. The only limits in life are the ones we believe in our minds. Rather than wishing obstacles away, we need to face them with courage. Letting go isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. The hardest roads often lead to the most beautiful destinations. Eventually, you'll reach a point where you'll need to either turn the page, write a new story, or close the book completely. When you emerge from a storm, you won't be the same person who walked into it. Courage is the foundation of all virtues. Without it, you can't consistently practice any other. Most people will disappoint you the first chance they get. It's not falling into the water that drowns you, it's staying there. There is only one risk in life that should truly terrify you: the risk of doing nothing. Every new chapter in your life will demand a new version of you. Take the first step with faith. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just trust in the next step. Don't let anyone convince you that you don't deserve what you want. Life's biggest danger is in being too cautious. The most crucial lesson: learning how to push through bad days so that better ones can be built. Let your self-improvement consume you so much that you have no time to criticize others. Many people unnecessarily complicate their lives, as if life isn't already complicated enough. One of the hardest lessons is accepting that not everyone wants what's best for you. True happiness doesn't come from having no problems. It comes from learning how to manage them. Sometimes we must experience absolute despair before we can truly feel overwhelming joy. Hard times are often hidden blessings, even though they bring suffering. But eventually, they make us wiser and stronger. Running through imagined scenarios in your mind is futile. Reality will always be different. People will enter and leave your life, and often those you thought would stay forever become fleeting memories. Healing happens at the pace of your forgiveness. A little madness helps us enjoy life, while a little wisdom helps us avoid mistakes that could make it harder. Tough times don't create heroes. They reveal the hero already inside of you. Happiness isn't the absence of difficulty, it's the resilience to face it. The most courageous thing any of us can do is to step out of our old stories and into the lives we were meant to live. Nothing will ever change for you unless you change. You may think you know someone, but often you only know the version you want to believe in. It takes time, but eventually you learn. Life doesn't give you anything without expecting something in return. Instead of wasting energy on what you can't control, focus on what you can build. Maturity is when you stop blaming, stop making excuses, and start making real changes. You won't always understand everything right away, and sometimes it's the goodbyes that set you free. The person you're meant to become is the one you choose to be. When you have a clear purpose, no one needs to push you. Your passion will drive you forward. Life changes for the better when you accept that you don't need all the answers, and you can drop the act of pretending you do. Knowing you are the reason behind someone's smile, or the reason someone believes in love again, that's everything. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. Some actions, no matter how persistent, bring bitter results. Sometimes you have to release parts of yourself in order to feel whole. Obstacles aren't dead ends. If you hit a wall, find a way to climb it, break through it, or walk around it. You might not always get what you want, but if you try, you just might get what you need. The first step to progress is deciding that you can't stay where you are. One of life's toughest lessons is knowing which bridges to cross and which to burn. Pay attention. Life sends you lessons when you're ready to receive them. Facing your emotions brings lasting peace, far more than suppressing them ever will. If you believe in something deeply, protect it. Be mindful of your thoughts when you're alone, and of your words when you're with others. If you don't live your life, someone else will try to live it for you. Be thankful for what you already have while pursuing what you want. If life teaches us anything, it's that wishing alone won't make something real. Sometimes you won't fit in, no matter how hard you try, and that's okay. Being alone is better than being somewhere you don't belong. Every journey has a final chapter. Don't rush. When one door closes, another opens. But if you stare too long at the closed one, you'll miss the one already open for you. Trust your instincts, even when everyone else is trying to change your mind. Never take people for granted. You never know how much they mean to you until they're gone. Never walk away from a real challenge. It's in those moments that life teaches you its most powerful lessons. You are the only one who can be both your biggest ally and your worst enemy. And that choice is yours. You can't control how others behave, but you can always control how you respond. Don't cry because something ended. Smile because it happened. Sometimes losing everything is what helps you discover who you truly are. People grow through experience if they're open to learning from their mistakes. Difficult moments show us that we're far more resilient than we imagined. Speak up for yourself. No one else will do it for you. And as much as you may want to help others grow, you can't force it. Eventually, a day will come when you realize it's time to stop trying and simply let go. There is no grand design, only the outcomes of your decisions. Be cautious even with your good intentions, for kindness has its limits, and some may exploit your generosity. You can choose to be a victim of your struggles, or you can rise above them and become the hero of your own life. The most valuable thing in this world is the time you share with those you love. Yet we often overlook that happiness doesn't stem from acquiring what we lack, but from recognizing and cherishing what we already have. Your future is simply your past that you've come to understand. You must be the one to help yourself. No one else can do it for you. Once you realize this truth, you will begin to feel a greater sense of control over your life. Worrying changes nothing about what's to come, and the quality of your thoughts is what determines the happiness in your life. To me, there is no better indicator of a sound and well-organized mind than a person's ability to pause and be content in their own company. The strongest defense against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. I only speak when I'm certain that silence would not be a better option. All Hellenistic schools of philosophy, though differing in details, seem to define wisdom similarly, as the attainment of a tranquil and peaceful state of mind. From this perspective, philosophy serves as a healing agent for the human soul, addressing the fear and sorrow that plague us. For cynics, the burden lies in societal norms and restrictions. For Epicureans, it's the pursuit of false pleasures. For Stoics, it's the chase after selfish desires. And for skeptics, it's the reliance on mistaken beliefs. Even if each philosophy claims roots in Socratic thought, They all agree with Socrates that humanity is entrenched in misery and confusion, not because of external evils, but due to ignorance. Evil is not found in things themselves, but in the judgments we make about them. Healing comes only when individuals are persuaded to transform these value judgments. That is why all these philosophical paths aim to be therapeutic. Simplicity, patience, and compassion, these are your greatest treasures. When your actions and thoughts are rooted in simplicity, you return to your essential nature. When you're patient with both friends and foes, you adapt to reality. When you're compassionate with yourself, you reconnect with all life. What harms the hive cannot benefit the bees. Therefore, living justly in your own actions means acting in ways that serve the common good. This is what it means to fulfill your true purpose. Most people are not concerned with living nobly, but with living long, even though every person has the power to live with virtue, while no one has the power to extend life indefinitely. Just like a runner must give their best to win the race, it is wrong to trip a fellow competitor. Similarly, in life, it's acceptable to seek personal benefit, but it's unjust to take it from someone else. To be human is to struggle with injustice, cruelty, and indifference. Virtue, on the other hand, is expressed through love, kindness, justice, charity, and a genuine concern for others. Whether in exile or at home, the brave face adversity without fear. That's why they possess the courage to speak their minds freely, regardless of where they are. True philosophy doesn't promise to secure anything external, because doing so would acknowledge a force beyond one's control. Just as a carpenter works with wood and a sculptor with bronze, the raw material of life is the very life each person is given. We are all bound by fortune, some with golden chains that are long and polished, others with short, rusted ones. Yet the nature of the prison remains the same. Even those who have imprisoned others are themselves imprisoned. Don't think that a chain on the left is any lighter. Honor, wealth, and nobility bind some, while humility weighs on others. Some are held by outside forces, while others are enslaved by their own inner tyrants. All lives contain an element of bondage. The key is to become accustomed to your circumstances and complain as little as possible. Find and hold on to the good that is close at hand. Nothing is so bitter that a peaceful mind cannot find comfort in it. Small, cleverly arranged spaces have served many needs. Likewise, a limited situation can become bearable, even fulfilling, through thoughtful arrangement and skillful adjustment. Apply reason to your difficulties. Tight boundaries can be expanded and heavy burdens lightened if carried wisely. If you've given into anger, understand that beyond the harm it causes, it also strengthens a damaging habit and feeds the fire. If you surrender to physical temptation, you haven't just suffered a lapse, you've reinforced destructive behaviors. Just as a person recovering from fever remains weakened even after recovery, so too does the mind retain marks from harmful choices. Unless healing is thorough, repeated failures will leave wounds, not just blisters. If someone tells you that another has spoken ill of you, don't rush to defend yourself. Instead say, "They didn't know the rest of my flaws, otherwise they'd have mentioned more." A good person doesn't act for appearances, but because it is right. Live each day as if it were your last. Learn as if you were to live forever. Only a fool insists on learning from their own mistakes, while the wise learn from the mistakes of others. When you light a lamp for another, it also lights your own path. If you can do what you love and find joy in it, you're already far ahead. When your work speaks for itself, it doesn't need to interrupt or seek validation. Progress lives just beyond the boundaries of comfort. I've realized that while words about your suffering may cause pain, silence from those who care can wound even deeper. An arrogant person always looks down on others and in doing so fails to appreciate anything above them. If it's not proper, don't do it. If it isn't true, don't say it. Master your impulses. Cruel words may sting, but silence can break the heart. A wise person controls their emotions in 3 situations: in the face of ignorance, during personal victories, and in times of deep disappointment. We often admire most what we least understand. If you want others to think well of you, resist the urge to speak well of yourself. Distraction comforts us during suffering, yet ironically, it is often the cause of our greatest misfortunes. To understand life, one must dream, because something far greater lies ahead than anything we leave behind. Each morning, we are born anew. What matters most is what we do today. Do not seek refuge in others. Even when you choose to speak, ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? No one can save us but ourselves. No one may and no one can. We must walk the path on our own. The secret to physical and mental well-being lies not in regretting the past or fearing the future, but in living wisely and earnestly in the present. Just as a jar is filled drop by drop, the wise fill themselves with goodness little by little. There is nothing as unruly as an undisciplined mind, and nothing as obedient as one that is trained. If you find no one to support you on your spiritual path, then walk it alone. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it outside yourself. Show compassion to all beings, both rich and poor, for each person carries suffering. Some carry too much, others too little. If your compassion doesn't include yourself, it's incomplete. Hatred does not end with more hatred. It ends through love. That is the timeless truth. Nothing causes us more harm than our own unchecked thoughts. Look to the sky. There is no true east or west. These are boundaries created by people, not nature. These boundaries are inventions of the human mind, constructed, believed, and clung to as reality. If we turn our backs on others in their time of need, who will be there for us in ours? It is a generous spirit, gentle words, and a life devoted to service and empathy that revitalize the human soul. We accumulate knowledge by adding things daily, but wisdom is gained through subtraction, by removing the unnecessary each day. Those with true understanding often remain silent. Those who constantly speak often lack understanding. Quiet your speech, shut off distractions, dull your sharpness, loosen the binds within, soften your gaze, settle the unrest in your heart. This is how you return to your original nature. That which flows with the Tao cannot be grasped, taken, harmed, or glorified. It simply gives continuously and thus endures. All you must do is rest in non-action, and transformation will unfold on its own. Abandon the idea of self as fixed form. Spit out what binds your senses. Forget the illusion of separateness from the world around you, and you may begin to merge with the vast unity that holds everything. The boundless, the infinite, is found in surrender. An idea that is nurtured and carried out has more power than one that merely stays as thought. When you came into this world, you cried and the world smiled. Live your life so that when you depart, you smile and the world mourns your absence. In time, you may look back and find the years of hardship to be the most beautiful. Wherever fear exists, that is where your purpose lies. Those who are most difficult to love are often the ones who need it most. If your heart can dream it, then your hands can work toward it. Don't seek validation except from your own sense of striving to do better. It is wiser to remain silent and seem foolish than to speak and confirm it. Success is not the final destination. Failure is not the end. It is the courage to continue that truly matters. Time is sufficient for anyone who knows how to use it wisely. The act of thinking is perhaps the most challenging thing of all. Maybe that's why so few are willing to do it. Do what you can with what you have exactly where you are. We tend to love ourselves more than others, yet we often value the opinions of others more than our own. Let us stand up and be thankful. Even if we didn't learn much, we learned something. And if we didn't learn, at least we weren't ill. And if we were sick, at least we didn't die. So let us be grateful. Who we are is shaped by what we think. We are rooted in our thoughts, and our lives are molded by them. When a person speaks or acts with ill intent, suffering follows close behind, just like the wheel follows the hoof of the beast that pulls the cart. When one speaks or acts from kindness, joy follows like a faithful shadow. Holding on to anger is like gripping a burning coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. Only you get burned. A single moment can change an entire day. A single day can transform a life, and a life can leave a mark on the world. Be present wherever you are, or else you will miss the essence of living. Kindness should be a natural part of our existence, not an occasional exception. Anyone who can anger you has in that moment become your master, for you've allowed yourself to be disturbed by them. Nothing is out of reach for those who persist. Time crawls when you chase it and races when it chases you. A goal without a plan is just a dream. The future approaches slowly, the present rushes past, and the past stands still. The highest human endeavor is to understand, because true understanding is liberation. Write your sorrows in the sand, where the winds of time can erase them. Etch your joys in stone, where they remain unshaken. Don't postpone today's actions to tomorrow. Love others as you love yourself. Don't measure your greatness by the length of your shadow at sunset. Never interrupt your adversary when they are in the midst of error. To be a friend to everyone often means to be a true friend to no one. Even a broken promise can be more meaningful than silence. Both the optimist and the pessimist have their place. The optimist invented the airplane, the pessimist the parachute. A woman's intuition may often outmatch a man's certainty. Ignorance is the root and trunk of all suffering. He who isn't content with little will never find peace with more. Shadows appear on sunny days and vanish when the skies are grey. Search for them, and you will not find them. Understanding a question is already half of the answer. What we know is a single drop. What we don't know is an ocean. Become the change you want to see in the world. Perfection isn't reached when there's nothing left to add, but when there's nothing left to take away. Simplicity is a sign of maturity. He who controls the past holds sway over the future. He who controls the present rewrites the past. Feign weakness when strong, and strength when weak. Time, like money, must be spent wisely. If you want to forget something, just remind yourself it must be remembered. Ironically, that's the surest way to forget. At some point, everyone must face the banquet of consequences. The value of a gift lies not in what is given, but in the intention behind it. In what we fear, we act like mortals. In what we desire, we act like we'll live forever. If a man doesn't know where he is sailing, no wind will be favorable. We live as though we have endless days ahead, rarely acknowledging our frailty. We squander time as if we have unlimited reserves, though any day we devote to something could very well be our last. The soul reflects the color of its thoughts. We often carry resentment and disappointment with the world around us, its people, its history, its systems. But the world simply is, not how we wish it to be, but as it exists. When we resist this reality and impose our expectations on it, we encounter internal friction, and from this, suffering is born. The greater the gap between our reality and our expectations, the greater the tension we experience. Learn to accept life, to embrace fate and all that it offers. This is the Stoic principle of amor fati, to love one's fate. After all, it is destiny that grants us the gift of life and experience. Attachment is the root of suffering. Your purpose is to discover your own path and then give yourself to it completely. No fire burns hotter than passion. No predator is more dangerous than hatred. No trap is as binding as ignorance. No flood is as destructive as greed. Do not dwell on the past. Do not chase dreams of the future. Keep your mind grounded in the present, and joy will never be far away. Gratitude is the gateway to contentment. Beneath it all, you are simply a part of the very fabric of existence. I've come to understand that both the past and the future are illusions, constructs that only exist in the now. The present is all there is. You are the universe, observing and experiencing itself. The only way to navigate change is to flow with it, to become one with it, to dance with it. The scholar accumulates knowledge daily, but the one who seeks awakening unlearns something every day. The hermit knows, if you retreat into the silence of nature, far from distraction, you will discover your deep connection with everything that is. If my awareness of the past and future reduces my awareness of the now, then I must question whether I'm truly alive in the real world. Meditation teaches that the essence of life is always available in the present moment. The only wisdom you'll find at the top of the mountain is the wisdom you brought with you. Cloudy waters settle best when left undisturbed. Every intelligent person seeks to understand what drives them, yet we're all mystified by how hard it is to truly know ourselves. When questions remain forever unanswerable, we must suspect that they were wrongly asked. You'll be less anxious once you stop fearing anxiety. The same is true for guilt. If your goal is only to make money, you'll waste your life doing things you dislike, just to continue doing more things you dislike. That is a senseless way to live. When you try to control another, you simultaneously give that person power over you. Things are simply as they are. When we look into the night sky, we do not criticize stars for being misplaced. We do not judge constellations for being disordered. Philosophy arises not from cosmic order, but from humanity's restless curiosity about existence. It is the product of our yearning to understand life through the lens of reason. Yet, the concept of amor fati, the love of fate, is often misunderstood. Many confuse it with passive surrender, believing it means accepting the world's evils without resistance, silently tolerating the injustices around us. But this misrepresents the essence of Stoic wisdom. To accept reality is not to submit to it. Rather, it is to train ourselves to see the world clearly, free from personal bias or illusion. Acceptance is not passivity. It is the cultivated ability to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. When we learn to observe life without the haze of our own prejudices and expectations, we begin to grasp the truth of our circumstances. This clarity enables us to discern what lies within our control and what does not. Armed with that understanding, we can direct our will where it matters, first inwardly to shape our character, and then outwardly to influence the world if and when it is possible to do so for the better. If you truly wish to free yourself from the burdens that trouble you, you don't need to be in a different place. You need to become a different person. Genuine contentment lies in embracing the present moment, unburdened by anxious dependence on what may come. Rather than being carried away by hope or crippled by fear, we must learn to be satisfied with what we already have. That suffices. The one who lives this way desires nothing more. The deepest treasures of humanity are not external. They are found within and are within reach. A wise person accepts their fate, whatever form it takes, and asks for nothing beyond it. What then is a happy life? It is a state of mental freedom, a mind that is unshaken by fear or temptation, elevated in thought and firm in purpose. It is a mind that regards virtue as the only true good, and cowardice or corruption as the only real evil. All else, fortune, fame, material gain, is merely the shifting dust of existence. They may come and go, but they neither add to nor take away from a man's happiness. A willing spirit is always accompanied by an enduring joy, a joy born not of possessions or achievements, but from a deep harmony within, an appreciation for one's own character, and a desire for nothing beyond that. When someone wrongs you, pause and reflect on what beliefs or values led them to act as they did. If their understanding of good and evil resembles yours, then you'll find it easy to forgive, for you might have acted similarly in their place. If their moral framework differs greatly from yours, it becomes even easier to show compassion, recognizing their confusion and ignorance. In this light, offenses lose their sting. Wealth isn't about amassing possessions. True richness is found in having few desires. Don't preach your beliefs before living them. Decide first who you wish to become. Then let your actions follow that intention. If someone can provoke your anger, they've gained power over you, but only because you granted it. No one can disturb your peace unless you allow them to. There's only one sure path to happiness. Stop worrying about what lies outside your control. If something external distresses you, remember, it's not the thing itself that causes pain, but your judgment of it. And you always have the power to change that judgment. The greatest obstacle to fully living is our fixation on tomorrow. We spend our days waiting for life to begin while it passes us by. We fret over the whims of destiny and neglect what we can actually influence. Instead of wasting energy on what lies beyond us, direct your attention toward your present purpose. The future is uncertain. Life is now. Circumstances do not create a person. They reveal them. Don't hope for life to bend to your wishes. Instead, learn to welcome whatever unfolds, and you will find peace. If you want to rid yourself of anger, starve it of attention. Don't nurture the habit. Catch it in its infancy. Remain silent at first, and keep count of the days you go without losing your temper. Perhaps you'll begin by enduring 1 day, then 2, then 3. And if you reach 30, offer thanks to the divine. When rising from bed feels like a burden, remind yourself, you were born for this. You were made to fulfill your purpose, not to lounge under blankets and hide from duty. We fail to realize how little we truly need until we give up the excess. We often hold on to things not because they're necessary, but because we've grown accustomed to them. The words of philosophers, The ones we quote and admire shouldn't remain on the page. They're meant to be lived. Seek out what's practical, what inspires and uplifts. Avoid what is unnecessarily ornate or archaic. Let the words you study become actions. What's most disheartening is seeing those who teach philosophy as if it were a trade, but live in contradiction to its principles. It doesn't matter what suffering you face, but how you endure it. You could leave this life at any moment. Let that fact guide everything you do, say, and think. Life, at its core, is this: separating what is within our control from what is not, so we can focus our energy wisely. Good and evil do not reside in external things, but in our own choices. That is where power lies. True happiness is found in the present, without obsessively clinging to what may or may not happen. Be content with what is. He who is satisfied in this way lacks nothing. Don't wish for events to unfold as you desire. Instead, desire that they unfold exactly as they do. That shift will bring serenity. Taoism teaches us the art of being present, rooted in the moment. Within us lies the divine, nature, and the bridge between yesterday and tomorrow. The present is infinite in motion, the sacred space of transformation. To live wisely is to adapt. Be at peace with what you have. Rejoice in what is. When you see that nothing is missing, you realize the entire world is yours. No one can possess all they want, but everyone can choose not to crave what they lack and find joy in what they already hold. Earn the respect of others by first respecting yourself. Don't expect goodness from others if you haven't cultivated it in yourself. One of humanity's greatest realizations is this: we can change our lives simply by changing our attitudes. Excellence is never an accident. It results from deliberate intent, honest effort, and intelligent execution. It is born from choosing wisely among many options. We often fear what we hear more than what we experience. Much of our suffering lives in imagination, not reality. To master the world, you must first master yourself. Don't be swept away by external events. If you truly understand this, strength will rise within you. If something isn't right, don't do it. If it isn't true, don't say it. Live with such integrity that even your enemy could know your life story without giving you cause for shame. Awakening to who you are demands letting go of who you imagined yourself to be. A person of virtue must care more about what is right than about what others think. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Let us listen more and speak less. The obstacle to action becomes the path of progress. What stands in your way becomes your way. Don't promise twice what you can achieve once. If you've made a mistake and failed to correct it, that's a second mistake. The one who has a purpose can endure almost anything. Remember that everything in existence has always followed the same patterns, endlessly repeating. And it makes no difference whether you witness these patterns play out again in 100 years, 200 years, or across infinite time. Whether someone lives a long life or dies young, they both ultimately lose the same thing, the present moment. That is all anyone can ever truly give up, because it is all anyone ever possesses. And what we do not own, we cannot lose. There are hardships that affect even the wise, such as physical pain, illness, the loss of loved ones, or the destruction of one's homeland through war. I acknowledge that even a sage feels these things. I do not demand that a person be as unfeeling as stone or iron. There is no virtue in enduring what one does not truly feel. They say this is where the fool and the wise man differ. The fool accepts such visions or experiences at face value and is deeply shaken by them. He affirms them as terrifying and worthy of fear. But the wise man, though he may initially flinch or change expression slightly, quickly regains his composure and holds fast to the principle he has always believed, that such appearances are not to be feared. The terror they inspire is based on illusion and false alarms. Life is like a military campaign. One person is assigned to guard duty, another to scouting, another to fight at the front lines. Likewise, every human life is a kind of battle, long, varied, and demanding. You must stay alert, just like a soldier, and fulfill the duties you've been given. You have not been placed in a lowly or brief position. You've been assigned a crucial post for the duration of your life. Do not wish for events to unfold the way you want them to, but instead want them to unfold just as they do. In this acceptance, your life will find harmony. The primary task in life is simply this: to learn how to clearly distinguish and separate the things under your control from those that are not. This clarity allows you to know where to seek good and avoid evil, not in the external world, which you cannot control, but within yourself, in your own choices and responses. True virtue must be pursued for its own sake, untouched by fear, hope, or any outside influence. That pursuit is the essence of happiness. What then is the art of being good? How is it achieved? It lies in understanding universal principles and in shaping one's own constitution accordingly. Of all the things within our control, the most precious and noble is this: the right use of our impressions. We should concern ourselves only with what lies within our power, and entrust all that lies beyond our grasp to the natural course of the universe. It is not things that disturb us, but the beliefs and judgments we form about them. The uninstructed person blames others for their own suffering. The one who has begun to be instructed blames only themselves. And the one who is truly wise no longer blames anyone, not others, not even themselves. Man should not go about asking what the meaning of life is. Instead, he must realize that life is asking him for a response. Every person is questioned by life, and the only valid reply is found in the way we live. We answer life through responsibility, by taking full ownership of our actions, thoughts, and responses. Let your eyes see only what they see, not what others would have you see. Let your ears listen freely to what they naturally hear, not to what others demand you hear. Let your mouth express your thoughts without being shackled by the fear of approval or disapproval. Allow your mind to think independently, free from the pressure of others' expectations. If your senses and your mind are denied the ability to function naturally, then they are being robbed of their essential rights. If you are unable to think, feel, or act freely, then your body and soul are being wounded. Cast off these burdens, and you will begin to truly live. Be careful what you nourish your dreams with. If you feed them with fear and worry, you will grow weeds that choke the life out of them. But if you nurture them with hope, optimism, and solutions, you will cultivate success. Stay ever aware of how problems can be transformed into opportunities. Stay vigilant in finding ways to support and feed your dreams. The nature of life itself is transformation. From the first shifts in the universe, the simplest elements joined to form clouds, which became solid bodies, which eventually produced the building blocks of life. These elements created living forms, and the cycle of birth and death began. Over countless ages, they configured into the precise form needed to bring you and me into being. Our lives are the crest of a wave in the ongoing cycle of formation, experience, and dissolution. And when we dissolve, the atoms of our being reorganize to make room for new life to come into existence and enjoy this experience. And so it continues, forever. The nature of the cosmos is change, from the vastness of galaxies to the tiniest particles. Most lives are improved not by grand achievements or the acquisition of luxury, but through the small daily changes in habit, waking a bit earlier, stepping outside more often, going for a walk, dusting off that neglected book, or simply being more present with the people and things we love. Though major accomplishments can also bring meaning, happiness is usually born of steady, mindful habits built over time, not fleeting moments of excitement. There's a delicate balance in how we engage with the future and the past. The future is useful for planning and preparing, but if we gaze too far ahead, we risk missing the very life we've been preparing for. The past is a powerful tool for learning, but if we dwell on it too long, we risk missing the life we were meant to live after the lesson. The future helps us plan, the past helps us learn, but life only ever happens now, in the present. When death comes, as it must for us all, the time and place will not be in my hands. If it's tomorrow, I'll meet it tomorrow. If it's in a year or 20, I'll face it then. It is in the very nature of all living things to die, regardless of our resistance. But for now, I live. And while I do, I will use the power I have, my choices, to determine how I spend the time I've been given. I do not speak to console you or to downplay your grief. If fate could be overturned by tears, then let us weep endlessly. Let each day be spent mourning and each night in restless sadness. Let your chest be beaten and your face be struck until the pain is fully expressed, if doing so would change the reality. But if the dead cannot be returned to life, no matter the extent of our grief, and if fate is fixed, beyond the reach of sorrow, then it is time to stop our mourning. Let us take hold of the wheel and guide our course. Let us not allow misfortune to steer us off course. A poor sailor is the one who lets the storm tear the rudder from his hands and surrenders the ship to the sea. But the sailor who grips the wheel and holds on, even as the waves rise and crash over him, deserves praise, even in shipwreck. Never allow anxiety about the future to disturb you. When it arrives, you will meet it with the same strength of reason and understanding that supports you today. True strength must always be tempered with gentleness. Resist too harshly, and you will snap. The wise person knows when to stand firm and when to yield. Often, success and failure hinge on our ability to bend without breaking. Those who cannot endure are the ones who suffer most. Sometimes the only choice we have is to bear our burdens patiently and wait for a better day. Solving a problem requires addressing its root, not merely its symptoms. True wisdom lies in recognizing what we do not know, not in pretending to have all the answers. To know that we do not know is clarity. To falsely believe we understand is affliction. To understand others is intelligence. To understand oneself is truth. To control others is strength. To master oneself is true power. And a branch that becomes too stiff and snaps, those who resist life without learning how to yield will ultimately break. Survival belongs not to those who serve the interests of the empire, but to those who are entrusted with the truth rooted deep within their core. The real answer lies within you. You already know who you are and what you want. Life unfolds as a series of natural and spontaneous transitions. Trying to fight against that only brings sorrow. Allow reality to be as it is. Let events unfold naturally, following the direction that resonates with your inner being. When kindness is expressed through words, it builds trust. When kindness is embedded in our thoughts, it brings depth. And when kindness is shared through generosity, it creates love. A person consumed by constant mental chatter is trapped in layers of concepts. These mental constructs act as barriers, keeping them from truly experiencing the world. That's why someone constantly lost in thought may never truly understand anything on a deeper level. No amount of anxiety will ever alter the course of what is destined to happen. Be at peace with who you are now. Don't yearn for radical change, nor fear the moment of your last breath. Don't anxiously await its arrival. Instead, reflect on this truth. In a short while, you will no longer be anyone, anywhere, or anything. All that you see around you will fade away, and those who exist now will also vanish. Everything is created by nature to transform, to shift, and to pass on, so that new things may emerge in an endless flowing cycle. Ultimately, whether there is a divine force guiding it all or everything is governed by chance. Everything remains as it should be. Do not let the randomness of life control you. Instead, learn to rise above it. So, I strive for the best while staying prepared for anything. Whatever happens, I accept it as sacred, natural, not something foreign or hard to handle, but something familiar and manageable. There is only one true path to happiness. Stop worrying about what lies beyond your control. A fulfilling life is only possible when we learn to tame our desires and see how fleeting and shallow they truly are. No person is truly free unless he governs himself. True wealth isn't found in having many possessions, but in needing very little. If someone doesn't appreciate what they already have, even owning the whole world won't make them happy. When your thoughts, your words, and your actions are aligned in harmony, life becomes simpler, and anxiety and fear begin to disappear. It is time to stop being idle. If you aspire to become someone extraordinary, then you must commit to growth. If your aim is wisdom, then clearly define the type of person you want to become. If you're truly in search of truth, you won't chase victory by any means necessary. And once you've discovered truth, you won't fear being proven wrong. Let silence be your default setting, and when you do speak, let it only be what is truly needed. Above all, begin by knowing who you are. Then, guide yourself toward the person you desire to become. Take the necessary steps to align your life accordingly. Circumstances don't define a person. They merely expose who we really are. Freedom is the only worthy pursuit in life. It is attained by releasing concern for things that lie outside our control. While we may not have the power to choose our external conditions, we always hold the power to decide how we will respond to them. Don't talk endlessly about your beliefs. Live them. The timeless phrases of Stoicism aren't just wise sayings. They're practical tools to help us navigate life's daily struggles, cultivate inner peace, and develop a resilient mindset. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please support the content by subscribing and liking the video so I can continue bringing you more valuable insights like these. Now, come along with me as we unravel the essence of Stoic wisdom and see how it can bring clarity and direction amidst the chaos of modern life. Discover the foundational ideas of Stoicism and learn how to apply them to your own journey with our ebook Stoic Mentality, a guide to contemporary living. You can find the link to it in the first pinned comment below. Let's begin. Everyone wants to see you succeed, but some only pretend to. Others will actively root for your downfall. That's why it's essential to learn self-reliance and remember that you are mortal. If you don't become independent and capable, the consequences later can be deeply painful. Let go of worrying about what others think. Really, who cares? Keep your thoughts to yourself and steer clear of fools. Their mindset is contagious. Some of your friends want to see you do well, just not better than them. The rest? They simply don't care. Learn to say yes and mean it. Don't agree to things just to make others feel comfortable. Always consult your own conscience before making commitments. Many people won't truly value you, especially when they see you as competition. Rule your life with your mind, not your emotions. Think back. Every poor decision you've made was likely driven more by emotion than reason. Always listen to your instincts. In ways you don't even realize, they understand things you haven't yet figured out. Know your worth and never put yourself on clearance. When you lower your value, others will too. Time moves fast. Be grateful. No matter how bad things seem, they could always be worse. Live like there's no tomorrow and focus on what you love. The money will come. Don't torture yourself with regret. No one is perfect. Stop chasing happiness. Focus on staying positive, and joy will follow naturally. Be mindful of those who say they love you. Many don't mean it. Often, they're using you. Trust yourself, and trust your first instincts when making choices. Keep your expectations low when it comes to others, but always keep your standards high for yourself. Expecting too much from people is a formula for disappointment. Stay focused on your own growth. People will enter and leave your life. That's just how it goes. If you don't learn to control your mind, someone else will. Sometimes, the heartbreaks you experience are what finally clear your vision. Solitude is the price of growth. Be proud of yourself for surviving the days you thought would break you. Not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay. Stop oversharing. Most people don't care, and some are secretly hoping you fail. Be kind, but don't let people take advantage of you. It's better to be disliked for who you truly are than to be loved for pretending to be someone else. Don't destroy yourself trying to impress people who don't even have it together. Avoid those who make you feel alone, even when you're with them. Bad company is worse than no company at all. Make peace with your past so it doesn't ruin your present. Don't compare your life with others. You don't know the full story of their journey. Never underestimate how dangerous foolish people can be. No one else is going to figure out your life for you. It's your responsibility. Sometimes, everything can go wrong all at once, no matter how well you planned. If you're too nice, people will walk all over you. Be prepared for that. A negative phase can start out of nowhere. You have to be willing to swallow your pain and grow by yourself. Never let a single person be the source of all your happiness, because if they leave, they take your happiness with them. Trust carefully, not blindly. When you take on your friends' problems, you take on their burdens too. The smaller your circle, the fewer headaches you'll have. Never expect someone to catch you when you fall. Even if you're doing all the work for yourself, some people will still hurt you. But those rare few who are worth the pain, keep them close. Be proud of how hard you're trying. Don't look back. That's not the direction you're heading. Don't rely too heavily on anyone, because even your shadow disappears when you're in the dark. Focus on building your work and building your life. Work on yourself and build your fortune. In your lowest moments, you'll discover a lot. And remember, some of the best moments of your life still haven't happened yet. This is your world. Shape it or someone else will. Bad habits are like soft beds, easy to fall into and hard to get out of. Nobody is too busy. It's always a matter of priorities. If something brings you joy, keep it quiet. The best decision I made was to stop telling everyone what I'm doing. Success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you never planted. Don't beg, don't chase, let life unfold. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. If no one offers help, do it alone. Take your financial well-being seriously. Money is a powerful shield against many of life's challenges. Guard your time. Many people don't deserve a second of it. What people think about you is none of your business. You can't change the beginning, but you can start from where you are and shape the ending. Being alone gives you the chance to reconnect with yourself. Sometimes you need to stop assuming the best in people and start observing their actions. Don't pretend to be better than you are. Live at your own pace. Life's too short to waste on hate. Your darkest moment might end up being the best thing that ever happened to you. Envy is a waste of your energy. You already have what you need to begin. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Treat others the way you'd want to be treated. And if you tell the truth, there's nothing to remember. Life isn't always fair, but be good anyway. The ones who don't take risks never accomplish much. Don't trust words, trust actions. Do yourself a favor. Get rich. Life is easier with money, not with time. If you can survive the chaos in your own head, you can survive anything. If someone doesn't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. Learn how to heal quietly. Not everyone needs to hear your pain. Stop expecting things from people. Everything will come to you when the time is right. Be patient and trust the process. Failure is just a bruise. It's not permanent. Avoid gossip. It's poison for your mind. At the root of all suffering is attachment. Time eventually reveals what you truly mean to someone. Stress might be temporary, but the lessons it teaches you can stay with you forever. If someone tries to bring you down, it's because they're already below you. Money isn't everything, but it solves a lot. No matter how smart, successful, or attractive you are, no one likes arrogance. Humility means everything. Never feel ashamed of having a good heart. All the good you give out will return, and often multiply. Don't feel guilty for doing what's best for you. Choose your circle wisely. The fastest way to grow is to be around people who are better than you. Hope for the best. Prepare for the worst. People want to see you do well, just not better than them. No is one of the most powerful words you can use. Don't exhaust yourself trying to please everyone. In your darkest moments, you'll often be alone, but those moments will make you wiser, stronger, and more courageous. No matter how kind or respectful you are, some people will still speak poorly of you behind your back. If you spend your life building someone else's dream, you're sacrificing your own. No matter how much good you do, people will always remember your mistakes. To get somewhere new, you must leave something behind. If you stay too long, you'll end up with nothing but regrets. You may not realize it, but the people you love the most are often your biggest weaknesses. The hard times are a blessing in disguise. They open your eyes to all the good you once took for granted. If you're impatient, life becomes harder. Patience, on the other hand, works miracles. Trust is easy to lose and hard to rebuild. Worrying won't fix tomorrow's problems. It only steals today's peace. Don't fear making tough decisions. Those are usually the ones that shape you the most. The more you hold on to your past, the less likely your future will shine with promise. Taking action is 10 times more powerful than simply reading or planning. real-world experience remains life's greatest teacher. Every relationship, whether we admit it or not, carries some degree of self-interest. At the core, we are all a bit selfish. If you're not dating with marriage in mind, then you're probably in it for heartbreak. Let that sink in. A meaningful relationship begins with self-respect, because if you don't respect yourself, it's obvious to others. If you don't address misunderstandings quickly, they'll eventually become the very reason for distance between you and those you love. The people you care about could leave this world at any moment. Cherish them. Nothing is ever as simple as it appears. There's no better way to secure your future than by saving money consistently. The magic of compound interest can quietly transform your life. While good things often come to those who wait, they usually suffer during the wait. Still, the journey, though long and painful, is entirely worth it. Whether it's a machine, a home, or a relationship, regular maintenance is always less costly than fixing things after they're broken. In many places, your level of respect correlates with your financial status. We shed tears over people, but with time, those emotions fade, and time doesn't stop or rewind. Time is everything, and someday it will define who you became. When it's all said and done, what will really matter is your health and what you accomplished. Pain often leads us to our wisest choices because the fear of feeling that same pain again is a powerful motivator. In your darkest hours, you'll begin to see things more clearly. The harder your past was, the more radiant your future has the potential to be. You're unlikely to live a truly comfortable life with just one income stream. You need to create more. Most of what you fear will never actually happen. You attract what you embody. So if you want to do better, you have to become better. Learn how to cook a few simple meals. It's a life skill that will serve you well. Patience isn't weakness, it's strength. Sometimes you have to let go of something good to make space for something even better. Never accept disrespect, not even from yourself. Listen more and speak less, because wisdom often comes wrapped in silence. Make a budget and stick to it. Kindness is a universal language, one that even the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Worrying may feel like doing something, but in reality, it's like a rocking chair. It keeps you occupied but gets you nowhere. You can't begin a new chapter of your life if you're still rereading the last one. The best views only come after the hardest climbs. Success doesn't always shout. Sometimes it's just that quiet little voice at day's end whispering, "I'll try again tomorrow." Don't lose your sense of humor. Laughter is the soul's best medicine. You'll never see a rainbow if your head is always down. Pay off your credit card bills. It'll save you stress in the long run. The best revenge isn't anger, it's massive success. The more you give, the more life gives you in return. Tough times never last, but strong people do. The most precious currency isn't money, it's time. Spend it carefully. A ship might be safest in the harbor, but that's not why ships are built. How you treat others says more about you than it does about them. Life isn't about having what you want, it's about wanting what you already have. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment you have and make it perfect. Believe in yourself, and everything else will eventually fall into place. Don't fear taking risks or trying something new. Life's far too short to always play it safe. Own your actions. That's what maturity looks like. Take a deep breath. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. Don't say someday. Say now, because someday may never come. Give to small charities. Acts of kindness change lives. If someone never makes mistakes, it likely means they've never tried anything new. You can't change the wind's direction, but you can always adjust your sails to reach your goals. When life finally gets better, you'll look back and be glad you didn't give up. Forgive your ex. Let go of the people who are wrong for you. Only then can the right ones arrive. God knows when to send exactly what you need. No regrets. Just do better next time. There will always be someone who doesn't value you. Just don't let that someone be you. Seek genuine respect, not shallow attention. Be careful whom you trust. Salt and sugar look almost identical. Some things need to end for better things to begin. Time will always reveal what's true. If you truly matter to someone, they'll find a way, even if life separates you. So appreciate every moment with those you love. Stay private, stay discreet, and don't tell everyone everything. Handle your personal life with care. Money is a means, not an end. The real goal is freedom. You're responsible for your own happiness. If you depend on others to create it for you, you'll constantly be disappointed. Do what no one else can do, and you'll become what no one else can become. Stay calm. You've overcome tough times before, and you will again. A negative mindset will never lead to a positive life. If someone treats you like an option, walk away. Choose experience over possessions, because memories are life's true riches. Accept what is. Let go of what was. Trust in what will be. There are so many people who love you. Don't waste your energy on those who don't. You deserve everything: the career, the love, the family, the peace, the life. Your vision might be blurry now, but with time and patience, it'll clear up. Patience is your quiet ally. Never forget the people who stood by you in hard times. You are enough, just as you are. You have nothing to prove to anyone. No matter how painful your past was, you always have the chance to begin again. Sometimes you have to go through the worst to reach the best. You'll remain alone until someone sees your true worth. Take care of your body. It's a different kind of wealth. If you can make a woman laugh, you can make her believe anything. Hard times always show you who your real friends are. Better days are coming. Yes, you may wake up with a heavy heart some mornings, but remember, your strongest muscle and your worst enemy is your mind. Train it. Someone else's success doesn't diminish your own. Don't let the same people hurt you more than once. Accept that some people love to blame others. They'll even blame you for things you didn't do. Stop complaining. It's wasted energy. Besides, who's really listening? You can't control everything or everyone, but you can always control yourself. And that's even better. Always move at your own pace, not based on expectations from society, friends, or family. If the house is messy and the garden is wild this weekend, it's okay. In the future, you'll remember the fun you had, not the tidy home. Make time for joy. Learn to say, "I don't know." Be frugal. Eat simple, real food. Avoid wheat and limit carbs. The more you learn, the more foolish small minds will seem. Pay close attention to people's red flags. Block them out early. It'll save you so much pain and wasted time. Never take on responsibilities that don't belong to you. Never compromise your worth. Trust your instincts. And above all, never take your loved ones for granted. Set firm boundaries. Be selective about who gets access to your life. If you truly want to grow, find someone worth serving. Service gives you experience, connections, and a reputation for reliability. True mastery only comes from practice. Buy and rent what you can afford. The fewer things you own, the lighter your life will feel. Life is rarely black and white. Often, there is no right or wrong choice. Sometimes, you just have to wing it. Don't walk away from someone just to teach them a lesson. Walk away because you've learned yours. Life is far from over, but it's also incredibly short. If there's something you want to do, don't put it off. But also, don't trade your long-term goals for short-term pleasures. When you're unsure, just take the next small step. Build relationships with people you admire, not just those who accept you easily. Surround yourself with people whose values and habits you admire, not simply those who are easiest to connect with or who readily accept you. The people you spend your time with will heavily influence your direction in life. Be cautious not only about who you choose to marry, but even more so about the kind of person you become in a marriage. If you become a parent, understand that making mistakes is a necessary part of learning and growth. Don't wait too long to start. Time slips by quickly. The older you get, the harder it becomes to change your habits or direction. Aside from your family, most people don't care about your struggles or triumphs. Begin saving money now. Avoid the temptation to spend on extravagant homes, flashy cars, or maxed-out credit cards. In the long run, you'll find much more peace in financial stability. Life is rarely as terrible as it seems in the moment, and rarely as amazing as you hope it will be. Guard your health. Without it, nothing else matters. No amount of wealth can bring joy if you're constantly suffering physically or mentally. Aim to get married before turning 30, and if you want children, try to have them before 35. Work diligently and earn well before you hit 40, and strive to establish passive income sources by 50. Make it a goal to retire before 60. Do all you can for your family out of love, but don't expect anything in return, not even from your partner. You will never regret saying, "I love you" to someone, so don't wait until it's too late. Make it a habit to save money regularly. A small amount each week or month can bring a huge sense of security and peace. It might be hard to believe, but having a financial cushion truly contributes to your happiness. If something in your life is functioning well, don't tamper with it unnecessarily. Be loyal in your relationships or choose to stay single. It really is that straightforward. Expect nothing and learn to appreciate everything. Gratitude for the small, often overlooked aspects of life is what leads to inner peace. The harder you work, the more you seem to get lucky. Don't take things personally. People's actions are often reflections of their own inner battles. Forgive easily and be understanding, but don't allow yourself to be taken for a fool. Don't say maybe when you really want to say no. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Your self-respect must always outweigh your emotions. Don't let success inflate your ego or failure shatter your spirit. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. If you're a generous person, know your limits, because others often won't respect them. Don't waste energy explaining yourself to people who have already made up their minds. They'll only hear what aligns with their perceptions. Accept constructive criticism, but never tolerate disrespect. If there's something you truly want, don't give up. Waiting is hard, but living with regret is harder. When you're angry, remain silent until your emotions settle. In life, you always have 3 choices: watch things happen, make them happen, or be confused about what just happened. Stay strong, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. People will judge you no matter what, so be true to yourself. You don't have to win every argument. Sometimes, agreeing to disagree is the wiser path. Live with no regrets, just lessons. Don't worry, just accept. Let go of expectations and embrace gratitude. Life is fleeting. The calmer your mind, the clearer your thoughts. The more genuine interest you show in others, the more engaging you will seem to them. If you never allow yourself to fall, you're just slipping through life. Hatred is a curse. It doesn't wound the one it's directed at, but it deeply harms the one who carries it. Let go of resentment like it's poison. We suffer more from our imagined fears than from actual reality. People evolve. Love can hurt. Friends might walk away. Life may not always go as planned, but it continues. So must you. Learn to say no without guilt. Explain your boundaries when needed and strive to be a good person, but don't waste your time proving it. Share your dreams sparingly, especially not with everyone you call a friend. Trust carefully. Keep your goals private until they are achieved. If you want to be seen as trustworthy, be honest. No one will care about your aspirations the way you do. You are the only person responsible for bringing them to life. Let go of past pain, but never forget the lessons they brought you. Controlling others may seem like power, but true strength lies in mastering yourself. Even the kindest souls have their limits. The path you choose matters more than how fast you're going. Control your thoughts, or they'll control you. Keep your personal life private. Discretion is strength. Don't make life-altering decisions when you're overwhelmed by fleeting emotions. To reach your highest self, you must first be capable of enduring the lowest points. As long as you're breathing, there's no obstacle you can't outlast. Thinking you're always right leaves no room for growth. Be patient. The best moments often arrive unannounced. Never regret any day. Good ones bring happiness, bad ones teach you, the worst days offer wisdom, and the best give memories. Life is a single, irreplaceable opportunity. Use it wisely. Be authentically yourself. Not everyone has to like you, and that's perfectly okay. Free yourself from the pressure to follow society's advice. Many don't even know what they're doing themselves. It might hurt at first, but eventually it makes you stronger. It's okay to walk certain paths alone. Your goals are personal and sacred. The family you build can be even more meaningful than the one you were born into. Life is short. Live it fully. Love is rare. Embrace it when it comes. Anger is harmful. Face it honestly. Moments of sweetness. Cherish them deeply. Missing someone doesn't necessarily mean they belong in your life. Sometimes missing is just part of healing. As you age, attend as many funerals as your heart can handle and listen to what people say. They rarely speak of accomplishments. Instead, they remember the kind of person someone was during their lifetime. Make sure you have at least one person who offers honest feedback. Be kind, generous, and gracious, but don't let others take advantage. Clinging too tightly to anything will only bring anxiety. Life doesn't unfold the way we want just because we wish it to. Pay attention to people's actions more than their words. Don't react with immediate anger. Let time settle your thoughts before responding. Words spoken in rage can't be undone. Keep your privacy sacred. There's no use regretting the past. You did your best with the knowledge you had at the time. People will see you for who you are, not who you needed them to be. Don't jump to conclusions. Be perceptive and give others time to reveal their true character. Never underestimate contempt. It can be deeply damaging. If someone consistently belittles or talks down to you, whether socially or professionally, remove them from your life. Never lend money unless you can afford to lose it. Borrowing may last days, but recovering it from careless hands can take years. Solve your problems before discussing them with others, especially friends. No matter how tough it gets, don't expose your weaknesses to those who might use them against you. People often enjoy watching others stumble. Don't give them that pleasure. Listen closely to those who tell you uncomfortable truths. Avoid the trap of self-pity. It's dangerously consuming. Just because you're in a dark place now doesn't mean you won't smile again. Pain is temporary. Sadly, we use our health to chase wealth, only to spend all our wealth later seeking one healthier day. Grudges don't harm those we resent. They only hurt us. Haters don't suffer. Only the ones who carry that hate do. Time will shape you more than anything else. It's the truest judge. You can't fight it. The only constant in life is change. Embrace it and you'll grow. Say please and thank you often. You can't rewrite the past, but you can shape the future by learning from it. One of the heaviest burdens we carry is expectation. It's better to be alone than with someone who brings you down. Once you stop chasing the wrong people or things, the right ones find their way in. There are no shortcuts to places worth going. You won't know how strong you are until strength is your only option. Don't let what you can't do overshadow what you can do. The best way to build confidence is to face what you fear. A river doesn't cut through rock because of force, but because of persistence. There's no elevator to success. You'll need to take the stairs. The greatest risk in life is not taking any at all. Happiness isn't something to delay for someday. It's something you must create now. Life won't get better by accident. It gets better with intention and effort. The only real limits are the ones you impose on yourself. A small act of prevention is worth more than any cure. Focus on what you can influence and release what you can't. Take time to savor life's simple pleasures. Within them often lies our deepest joy. Give without expecting anything back. The only time you should look back is to see how far you've come. You can't live a positive life with a mind trapped in negativity. Doubt kills far more dreams than failure ever will. When life puts you under pressure, remember that even diamonds are made that way. If you're feeling exhausted, don't quit. Rest instead. Don't let yesterday's shadows dim the light of tomorrow. Never delay your joy waiting for a perfect moment. Tomorrow isn't promised. The first step to moving forward in life is deciding that you are no longer willing to remain in the same place. Rather than chasing after people, particularly women, focus on your personal growth, values, and cultivating kindness. The right person will come into your life at the right time without the need to chase after them. Never lower your head in defeat. Instead, keep it held high and face the world with confidence. The true measure of a man's character is revealed by what he does when no one is watching. You don't need to win every argument. Sometimes it's more important to simply agree to disagree. Make the decision to spend time with older individuals whose wisdom and life experiences are invaluable. Keep your circle small and maintain a private life, for peace of mind often comes with solitude. It's important to recognize that sometimes we create our own disappointments through the expectations we place on others. It's okay to make mistakes because they are a sign that you are trying. Remember, it's not things that should matter most to you, but people. And even the smallest lie can destroy the biggest trust. Be kind and generous, not because you expect something in return, but because it reflects the goodness within you. Embrace solitude as it provides time for self-reflection and personal growth. Trust is something not everyone will earn, and it's important to acknowledge that not everyone will be trustworthy. Don't shy away from expressing your feelings, as vulnerability is a sign of strength. Rejection is part of life, and learning to handle it with grace is essential. Remember, it's just a bad day, not a bad life, and things will improve in time. Be careful not to overthink or trust too much. Loving too deeply can lead to disappointment, and while you may face disappointments many times, how you respond is what truly matters. Never allow anyone to make you feel undeserving of what you want in life. Do what is right for you, even if it means hurting someone you love. The days that break you are often the ones that push you to grow the most. Time waits for no one. It simply urges you to either catch up or stay behind. Never allow a relationship to damage your mental health, and remember that your happiness cannot depend on others. Being overly kind to the point of self-sacrifice will eventually break you. Trust yourself, as you have already overcome many challenges, and you will continue to do so. Comfort often weakens you mentally, and sometimes loneliness is the price you pay for growth. You are who you are, and you don't need anyone's approval to live your life. Learn more from what people do, rather than just listening to what they say. Don't expect anything from anyone, as this will save you from disappointment. Take advantage of every opportunity, because regrets often come from the chances we didn't take. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Stop oversharing with others, as everyone comes into your life for a reason, but if they are meant to stay, they will. Your past is never a mistake if you've learned from it. When someone avoids you, respect their space and move on. People may forget what you said or did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Some people are destined to cross your path, but are not meant to stay forever. The direction you're heading in is more important than how fast you're moving. Never fall in love with the same person twice, because the second time, you're falling in love with the memories, not the person. View failure as a valuable teacher and a necessary stepping stone towards success. Celebrate even the small victories because they pave the way for larger accomplishments. Surround yourself with those who bring you peace and spend more time with them. Never be afraid to treat people the way they treat you. Be authentic and don't waste time on people who don't value you. Never hesitate to invest in yourself, as it pays off in the long run. Stop doubting yourself and believe in your potential. You can learn more about a person by what they say about others than by what others say about them. Trust your heart to guide you and let your mind lead you safely toward your goals. If you rely too heavily on one and neglect the other, you will lose balance. Life is a one-time experience, so do what makes you happy. You can't achieve great things if you're distracted by trivial matters. Remember that 5 years ago, you dreamed of being where you are today. Not everyone needs to be your friend, and that's perfectly okay. You don't always have to be on the move, doing something all the time. Take time to relax and give back, whether through a kind gesture or by helping someone in need. Everything happens for a reason, so don't be afraid to experience suffering. It's a natural part of growth. Don't sacrifice your health to make money, as you'll likely end up spending that money trying to recover your health. Be kind to others, but don't allow them to take advantage of your generosity. Your efforts are never wasted, even if others don't appreciate them. How others perceive you is not nearly as important as how you view yourself. To live like a king, you must work tirelessly toward your goals. Everything you need will come to you at the right time, so trust the process. You entered this world alone, and you will leave it alone. Therefore, remember that you have the strength to achieve the impossible by relying on your own determination and perseverance. Expect lies, for they are part of life. In the end, you'll likely regret more the things you didn't do than those you did. Things do not bring happiness, experiences do. Stay silent in moments of happiness and also in moments of sadness, for both can be fleeting. Stop comparing yourself to others who may have started their journeys earlier. Focus on your own path, for you cannot change the beginning, but you can start right now and alter the end. If you waste money, you can always earn it back. But if you miss an opportunity, it may never return. Live with open eyes, ears, and heart, because strong people tend to be simple. You spend your first 20 years worrying about what others think of you, your next 20 swearing you no longer care, and then you realize, in your later years, that others are not thinking about you as much as you once believed. Never reveal your weaknesses to others. Always strive to showcase your best qualities, and never let your enemies see you at your lowest. Time passes swiftly. One day you're 30, and the next you're 50. Plan now how you want the rest of your life to unfold. Excellence is not a gift. It is a skill that requires practice. We don't perform excellently because we are inherently excellent. We achieve excellence by consistently acting with intention, effort, and intelligence. Our choices, not chance, determine our destiny. Friendship is a quick bond, but true friendship is something that matures over time. Happiness is the ultimate goal of life, the meaning and purpose behind our existence. A friend to all is often a friend to none. Patience may be bitter in the moment, but its fruits are sweet for those who learn to endure. Parents who educate their children well deserve greater honor than those who simply gave them life, for it is education that shapes the future. Music and the arts provide the keys to understanding life as they touch the deepest parts of our souls. Poets, though sometimes unaware of their own understanding, express what cannot be said plainly. To know oneself is the beginning of all wisdom, and an educated mind can entertain different thoughts without immediately accepting them. True friendship is when two souls are intertwined in understanding and trust. Educating the heart alongside the mind is what truly constitutes an education. Hope is the waking dream that drives us forward, for no great mind has existed without a touch of madness. Happiness is within our control, and while anyone can become angry, true mastery of emotion is being able to direct it toward the right person at the right time and for the right reason. Excellence is never a result of accident. It is the culmination of intention, effort, and intelligent choices. Friends may come easily, but true friendship requires time. Patience, though hard to cultivate, yields sweet rewards for those who persist. The most worthy individuals to honor are those who have educated and nurtured you, for it is their wisdom that will carry you through life. Children, though given life by their parents, are more deserving of our respect and admiration because it is the mentors, the ones who teach them, who truly shape their future. Living well is often perceived as a struggle, but once a person conquers their fears, they will experience a profound sense of freedom. Those who seek knowledge, who strive to understand, and who take the time to impart that wisdom to others, are the ones who will experience true freedom and fulfillment. Educated individuals stand apart from the uneducated, just as the living stand apart from the dead. Trust should only be placed in one individual, for genuine trust is rare and hard-earned. I wish to see in you 3 things: the sorrow behind your smile, the love behind your anger, and the reasons behind your silence. If your absence doesn't make a difference to anyone, it suggests that you may never have truly mattered in their lives. Strive not for applause, but to work for a cause that is greater than yourself. Express yourself fully, not for the sake of impressing others, but because it is who you are. What occupies your thoughts will ultimately shape your reality. If challenges don't come your way, you'll remain unchanged. Be humble enough to admit when you're wrong and wise enough to remain silent when you're right. Understand that the moment you realize you deserve better, letting go will be the most empowering decision you can make. Always distinguish between what you are receiving and what you truly deserve. Never fear being different. Fear only the urge to outshine others for the wrong reasons. Respect is earned through honesty, trust through appreciation, and loyalty is something that is returned when you have been true to others. Remember, you must endure difficult days in order to fully appreciate the best ones. Every expert was once a beginner, and though the truth may cost nothing, a lie could cost you everything. Strength should be balanced by gentleness, for too much resistance can lead to breaking. A truly strong individual knows when to act with force and when to show restraint. The course of fortune and disaster often depends on knowing when to give up and when to persist. Those who lack the capacity to endure hardship are often the ones who face the greatest suffering. Sometimes, all we can do is endure our pain until the time comes when it can be healed or resolved. To solve a problem, it's essential to address its cause, not just its symptoms. The highest form of knowledge is knowing that we don't know everything, while the greatest torment comes from thinking we know when we truly don't. True intelligence lies in understanding others, while wisdom is found in understanding oneself. Strength is about dominating others, but true power is about controlling oneself. A branch that is too rigid will break, and too much resistance ultimately leads to destruction. A strong person understands when to use force and when to give in, and they know that good fortune and disaster hinge on this delicate balance. Only that which is of no use to the empire is worthy of being discarded. At the center of yourself lies the answer. You know who you are and what you want. Life is a continuous series of natural and spontaneous changes. Resist not these changes, for doing so only brings sadness. Let reality be as it is, and allow things to flow naturally to their rightful place. Kindness in speech fosters trust. Kindness in thought creates depth, and kindness in action cultivates love. A mind preoccupied with concepts often prevents one from experiencing things directly. A person bound by concepts can never truly understand the essence of life. Trying to explain something like Zen is akin to trying to trap the wind in a box. Once you close the lid, the wind ceases to exist. Over time, it becomes stagnant air. Sometimes your circle of influence may shrink, but in doing so, you gain greater courage. One day, you'll wake up and realize that time has run out to do all the things you've always dreamed of. Don't wait. Do them now. There's only one thing worse than a hardened heart, and that's a soft head. True success doesn't come without effort. Compound interest grows the best rewards, just as persistence through adversity builds strength and character. The more you dwell on your misfortunes, the greater their power to harm you. The path to health requires you to eat what you don't like, drink what you find unappealing, and do what you would rather not do. Avoid arguing with those who are not capable of reason. They will only drag you down to their level and eventually defeat you through sheer persistence. A broken promise may hurt, but it's often better than none at all. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you are right. Never hit someone if you can avoid it, but if you must act, do so with honor. Make the most of your resources and circumstances. Remember that a gem cannot be polished without friction, and neither can a man be perfected without trials. Suffering before it is necessary only leads to unnecessary pain. We should not follow the crowd blindly, but rather choose our own path, even if it leads us away from the popular one. We often love ourselves more than others, yet we care more about the opinions of others than our own. Luck is simply what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Live as though you are already dead. All that remains is how you live the present moment. Focus on now, for everything else is either in the past or unknown. If you are feeling alone, it may be because you have neglected yourself. Don't worry about who is by your side. Learn to rest, not to give up. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you discover why you were born. Adversity often prepares ordinary people for extraordinary destinies. Positive thinking is a powerful tool, often making everything better than negative thinking ever could. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Your past should serve as a place of learning and growth, not a place where you live forever. Don't rush the process. Trust that big things take time. Big dreams require healthy habits, and healthy habits require self-discipline. If you can stay positive in a negative situation, you will find victory. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you learn. Take a deep breath. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. You may fall 7 times, but you get up 8. If you believe it will work, you'll see opportunities. If you believe it won't, you'll only see obstacles. If you don't try, it will never happen. Don't give up on yourself. There's a reason why you began this journey toward becoming your best self. What you think in your mind becomes your reality. Making mistakes is better than pretending to be perfect. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. The calmer you are, the clearer your thoughts will be. The moment you want to give up is often when you need to push forward the most. Control your thoughts, or they will control you. Become a ghost. Forget about seeking attention and simply grow in private. 2 qualities define you: your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. Don't give up. Nothing lasts forever, not even pain. Keep things private until they're permanent. You only fail when you stop trying. You don't need more time. You need fewer distractions. Learn to value yourself above others. Tranquility comes when you let go of what is behind you, allowing you to focus on what lies ahead. To be your best, you must be prepared to face the worst. A goal without a plan is merely a wish. Life is about being yourself. Don't lose who you are by trying to be someone else. If life were predictable, it wouldn't be life. It would be tasteless. Life is like a coin. You can spend it however you wish, but you only get to spend it once. Practice self-compassion, for we are all human, and we all make mistakes. Time heals almost everything. Give it time. Sometimes you have to let go of something good to make room for something better. What others think of you is none of your concern. You can't move forward in life if you keep dwelling on the past. The best view comes after the hardest climb, and you'll never see a rainbow if you're always looking down. Hard times don't last, but strong people do. While you can't change the direction of the wind, you can adjust your sails to reach your destination. There are no shortcuts to worthwhile destinations. A river cuts through rock, not because of its strength, but because of its persistence. Focus on what you can control and leave the rest behind. The only time you should look back is to see how far you've come. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and the first step to moving forward is deciding that you're not willing to stay where you are. Your true character is revealed by what you do when no one is looking. Don't waste your life trying to impress others. Stay away from those who make you feel small. No company is better than bad company. Don't compare your life to others, for you have no idea what their journey is like. Your life is your responsibility. Life may not always be fair, but it is still good. Those who are too afraid to take risks will never succeed in life. Do yourself a favor. Get rich in experiences, because life becomes easier when you have wealth, not time. To avoid disappointment, don't expect anything from anyone. Stress may be temporary, but the lessons it teaches last a lifetime. Keep moving forward, trust the process, and do it better next time. The harder you work, the luckier you'll become. If you are generous, remember to learn your limits, because not everyone will share the same generosity. In life, you have 3 choices. You can see things happen, make things happen, or wonder what happened. Live with no regrets, only lessons learned. Practice acceptance, gratitude, and be at peace with life, for it is too short. The more you care for others, the more fascinating you will find yourself. Show interest, as we tend to suffer more from the imagination of things than from reality. It's true that people change. Love can be painful, friends may leave, and things can slip away. But remember that life continues. Don't reveal what you're working on until it's complete. Your hopes and dreams are yours alone, and only you have the power to make them come true. Forget the hurt, but never forget the lessons it taught you. Strength comes from dominating others, but true power lies in mastering yourself. The path you choose is far more important than how fast you move along it. Never regret a day in your life. Good days bring happiness, bad days bring experience, the worst days bring lessons, and the best days bring memories. Life is fleeting, make the most of it. Love is complex and strange, hold on to it. Anger is destructive, let it go. Fear is paralyzing, face it. The people who are dear to you are precious, cherish them. Be cautious about relying too much on anyone in this world, for even your shadow will leave you in the dark. Never forget that some of your greatest moments have not yet occurred. Bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to fall into, but hard to escape. No one is truly too busy. It's all about priorities. If something makes you happy, keep it to yourself. Be careful with whom you place your trust, as some may seem sweet on the surface, but hide hidden motives. Time always reveals how much you mean to others. Stay calm. You've faced challenges before, and you'll overcome them again. If people treat you as an option, then leave them as a choice. Value experiences over possessions, for memories are the true treasures of life. Focus on those who love you and ignore those who don't. Your vision might blur at times, but it will clear up with time. Take care of your body. Your health is another form of wealth. Your mind is both your strongest ally and your worst enemy. Training yourself is more beneficial than the countless attempts of a beginner. In politics, we tend to think that anyone who knows how to win votes can effectively govern. But that's not always the case. When we're sick, we don't look for the most handsome or eloquent doctor. We seek the best treatment. Honor men more than the truth. There are 2 things you should never let anger consume you over: what you can control and what you cannot. When others speak badly of you, live your life in such a way that no one will believe them. The beginning of any endeavor is the most important part. Ask yourself, are we awake, or are all our thoughts just dreams? The purpose of education is to help us love the beauty of knowledge. A house with a library has a soul. Necessity is the mother of invention. Those who can see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will often never be understood, let alone believed, by the masses. Death is not the worst thing that can happen to a person. Wealth is truly found in living contentedly with little. When physical exercise is obligatory, it does not harm the body, but knowledge gained through forceful means doesn't stick to the mind. Beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder, and many people will dislike you, especially if they see you as a competitor. Always listen to your instincts. They will reveal truths you wouldn't expect. Rule your life with your mind, not your emotions. Every bad decision we've made in life was more emotionally driven than rational. Trusting yourself is a virtue. Life isn't about having good cards. It's about playing a bad hand well. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single flame, and your life will not be shortened by sharing happiness. At first, you choose a partner based on appearance, but you will later realize that values, not looks, will guide how you raise your children. If you expect the world to treat you fairly just because you're fair, you are deceiving yourself. Learn to say what you mean and mean what you say. Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping it will hurt your enemies. You can always make money, and the world won't end because you don't have a fixed income. Something else will come along. Your friends want you to do well, but not better than them. Don't worry about the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is real. If you want to know someone, observe the 5 people they interact with the most. When you're trying to break a habit, don't tell yourself it's the last time you'll do it. Tell yourself it's the first time you won't. Be mindful of small expenses, for small leaks will sink a large ship. Never compare your life to someone else's. Their life may appear better, but they have struggles you've never heard of. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. Justifying your actions to people living a life you don't desire is a waste of time. Keep your personal matters to yourself and avoid the company of fools. Stupidity is contagious. Not everything in this world should be your concern. Some problems are simply none of your business. Focus on what directly affects you, and you'll find more happiness. Your worth is not defined by someone else's failure to recognize it. Life can only be understood looking backward, but we must live it moving forward. Don't ignore problems that you see on the horizon. Foresight is a gift, so don't waste it. He who laughs at himself will never run out of things to laugh about. Decision-making, like coffee, needs time to cool down. Don't judge a day by the harvest, but by the seeds you plant. Every failure brings with it the experience to do better next time. Pay attention to those who say they love you, as they might not always mean it. They might just be using you. Trust your instincts, especially when it comes to decisions. You spend all your health to acquire wealth, then spend all your wealth to regain your health. Those who say you can't achieve something are usually just afraid of you doing it. Be cautious about who you call your friends. Sometimes 4 trustworthy people are worth more than 100 who aren't. Don't feel pressured to conform. Keep moving forward. The feeling will pass, and you'll remain. Lower your expectations, as high expectations of yourself and others often lead to chronic dissatisfaction. The problems your friends face will eventually become your own. The smaller your social circle, the fewer problems you'll have. Today, you are the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again. What begins in anger often ends in shame. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. The only true error is one from which you learn nothing. Success is 5% intelligence and 95% consistency. Learn to be self-sufficient, for independence and resourcefulness are vital. People tend to stay in one place because of what they value. A ship in a harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. People are good at keeping secrets, but you don't always know everyone's true nature. Some teach you about love and support, while others teach you what to avoid. Not everyone wants to see you succeed, and some will go to great lengths to see you fail. If people were to feel the pain they've caused you, you would lose the strength you've gained. Don't fear the shadow. It only means there's light nearby. If you want to get rich, focus on saving as much as earning. Stop worrying about what others think. When you laugh, people laugh with you. When you cry, it's only when you try to please everyone that you end up pleasing no one. Be yourself. Others are already taken. It's possible to make mistakes and still lose. That's not weakness, it's life. Don't reveal your thoughts or knowledge too openly. Keep some secrets, because today's friend could be tomorrow's enemy. A busy person is rarely visited by idle friends, and flies don't land in boiling pots. Don't get caught up in regrets. No one is perfect. Don't pursue happiness, just stay positive, and joy will follow. Stop trying to please everyone. You need enemies to succeed. Without them, you wouldn't take their advice or criticism. Everyone falls, but it's in getting up that we learn to walk. You're not a product of your circumstances, but of your decisions. Focus on yourself. People come and go, and you don't always notice your progress because you're constantly raising the bar. There are two wolves inside all of us, one bad, one good. Which one will win? The one you feed. Loneliness is the price of personal growth. Judgment is inevitable, so embrace it, no matter the outcome. Don't live to impress others, live to impress yourself. Comparison steals joy, so focus on your own path. Never be so kind that you forget to be clever, and never be so clever that you forget kindness. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Complaining and lamenting never lead to results. Life's challenges aren't there to paralyze you, but to reveal who you really are. Sacrificing your progress for a friend may not be reciprocated if the roles were reversed. Never compare your life to another's. You don't know their journey. People will forget what you said and what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. People lie most during elections, wars, or after a hunt. The more you like yourself, the less you'll need others. If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Walk away from people who make you feel alone. No company is better than bad company. Write your sad moments in the sand, but your happy ones in stone. Be kind, but don't let people take advantage of you. The world doesn't care about your potential. It cares about what you've done. You're not responsible for the first thought that crosses your mind, but you are responsible for the second. Those who have a reason to live can endure almost anything. Never underestimate the power of foolish people. Don't wait. Knowledge begins with knowing a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Circumstances may shape you, but they do not define you. You are here for a reason, even if you don't fully understand it yet. Patience is essential, and being grateful for life's small blessings is vital. Have you ever imagined a world where everything you desire becomes a reality? A world where your goals, dreams, and aspirations are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes? If so, you've come to the right place today. Let's talk about a powerful secret that can help you make that vision a reality. It's not magic or a trick, but rather A life philosophy, Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us the importance of focusing on our actions, reactions, and mindset. It shows us how, by adopting this philosophy, we can transform our reality and create remarkable changes in our lives. In this video, we will explore 15 Stoic principles that can help you do just that. Each key principle will be explained in detail, accompanied by a quote from a Stoic philosopher to illustrate its meaning. So, sit back, relax, and prepare for a deep dive into the essence of Stoicism. Before we continue, I would really appreciate it if you could give this video a like to help it reach more people. And if you don't want to miss any of my upcoming videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. The first Stoic principle we'll discuss is ataraxia. Ataraxia is a Greek term that translates to inner peace or imperturbability. The Stoics believed that true happiness does not lie in external pleasures or in seeking the approval of others. Instead, it resides in achieving a state of inner peace. Ataraxia is attained when we accept the world as it is, without wishing for things to be different. It teaches us that we cannot control external events, only our responses to them. By freeing ourselves from unrealistic expectations and accepting reality as it is, we can find inner peace. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them." This quote reminds us that our inner peace depends not on external events, but on how we choose to interpret and respond to those events. By cultivating inner peace through ataraxia, we can liberate ourselves from unnecessary worries and focus on what truly matters, our personal growth and development. The second key Stoic principle is amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This concept encourages us to embrace and love everything life brings, both the good and the bad. Rather than resisting challenges or lamenting adversities, the Stoics teach us to accept them as part of our journey. Amor fati is the practice of viewing each event in our lives, no matter how difficult, as something necessary and beneficial for our growth. It's about understanding that every experience has a purpose, and even the painful or challenging moments can offer valuable lessons. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Accept what comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could be more suited to your needs?" This powerful quote reminds us that every event in our lives is exactly what we need at that moment to learn, grow, and evolve. By embracing amor fati, we can see each challenge as an opportunity for growth and each adversity as a lesson. This mindset allows us to focus on ourselves and our personal development, rather than becoming trapped in resistance or regret. The third key Stoic principle is prosoche, which means mindfulness. The Stoics placed great importance on living in the present moment and being mindful of our actions and thoughts. Prosoche is the practice of being fully aware and present in each moment, paying attention to our actions, thoughts, and emotions without judgment. It's the realization that we only have control over our actions and reactions in the present moment, and that our focus should be on doing the right thing now. As Epictetus once said, "Don't ask for things to happen the way you want them to, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will be happy." This quote reminds us that we must accept reality as it is and focus our attention on our own actions and reactions. By practicing prosoche, we can learn to live in the present moment, directing our energy toward what we can control, our own actions and responses. This mindfulness helps us concentrate on our personal development rather than worrying about things beyond our control. The fourth Stoic principle is eudaimonia, which translates to the good life or happiness. The Stoics believed that true happiness is not found in fleeting pleasures or in accumulating wealth, but in living a life of virtue and fulfillment. The good life, according to Stoicism, is one where we align our actions with our values, live with integrity, and focus on the cultivation of our inner character. The pursuit of eudaimonia is not about seeking external rewards, but about living in accordance with our true nature and striving for excellence in everything we do. This principle teaches us that happiness arises from living a meaningful and purposeful life, where we are guided by wisdom, courage, and virtue. Through the practice of eudaimonia, we learn to focus on what truly brings lasting joy and fulfillment, rather than being distracted by superficial desires or material success. The Stoics believed that genuine happiness is not found in fleeting pleasures or the accumulation of material wealth, but rather in living a life of virtue and purpose. Eudaimonia, which translates to the good life or happiness, is attained by aligning oneself with nature. For the Stoics, living virtuously means understanding that true happiness and fulfillment come from our own actions and character, rather than from external circumstances. As Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once stated, "It is not the man who has little, but he who desires more, who is poor." This quote reminds us that our true wealth and happiness are determined by our character and actions, not by our material possessions. Eudaimonia, therefore, is a powerful key to focusing on oneself and seeking a life of virtue and purpose. By doing so, we can find lasting satisfaction and meaning. The concept of memento mori, which translates to "remember that you are going to die," is the fifth Stoic key. This idea serves as a reminder of the inevitability of death and encourages us to live each day as though it were our last. Memento mori is a practice of reflecting on our mortality, not to inspire fear, but to motivate action. By recognizing the finite nature of life, we can better appreciate every moment and live with greater purpose and intensity. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, famously wrote in his Meditations, "Think of yourself as if you were already dead. You've lived your life. Now take what's left and live it correctly." This quote reminds us that every day is a precious gift, and we should strive to live it in the best possible way. By practicing memento mori, we learn to appreciate each moment and live with purpose and gratitude. This perspective enables us to focus on ourselves and our personal growth, instead of being distracted by things beyond our control. The sixth Stoic key is enkrateia, which means self-control. The Stoics understood that self-control is vital for living a virtuous and fulfilling life. It involves exercising control over our actions, thoughts, and emotions. Self-control is the ability to resist temptations and maintain composure in difficult situations. The Stoics believed that self-control enables us to live in harmony with our values and principles, rather than being led astray by our passions or external circumstances. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Liberation is not assured by the fullness of the things one possesses or by the abundance of pleasures, but by the absence of wishful thinking." This quote highlights that true self-control is not about repressing our desires, but about freeing ourselves from them. By practicing enkrateia, we can learn to exercise control over our actions and emotions, which will allow us to focus on ourselves and our personal development. The seventh Stoic key is affiliation, or the sense of belonging. The Stoics believed that we are all part of a larger community, and it is our responsibility to contribute to the well-being of others. Affiliation involves recognizing our connection with others and acting in ways that reflect this understanding. It is about acknowledging that our actions have an impact on those around us, and that we must consider this impact when making decisions. Heracles, a Stoic philosopher, proposed a model of affiliation that includes concentric circles, with the self at the center, followed by family, friends, the community, humanity, and finally, the cosmos. This model serves as a reminder that we are part of something greater, and our actions can extend beyond our immediate circle. By practicing affiliation, we learn to consider the effect our actions have on others and contribute to the well-being of our community. This perspective allows us to focus on our personal development while also contributing to the greater good. The eighth Stoic key is love for humanity. The Stoics emphasized the importance of kindness and generosity towards others. Practicing kindness and generosity means acting with goodwill without expecting anything in return. It is the understanding that we are all part of the same human community, and we have a responsibility to care for and support one another. Seneca, another famous Stoic philosopher, said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." This quote reminds us that, regardless of the circumstances, we always have the chance to act with kindness and generosity. By practicing this, we can learn to be kind and generous, which allows us to focus on our own personal growth while also contributing to the well-being of others. The ninth key of Stoicism is moderation. The Stoics emphasized the importance of living a balanced life and avoiding excesses. This practice involves seeking equilibrium in all areas of life, recognizing that indulgence in either pleasures or difficulties can ultimately lead to unhappiness and suffering. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, remarked that true wealth lies not in the abundance of possessions, but in having few needs. This insight reminds us that genuine happiness and wealth stem from leading a life of balance and moderation, rather than from accumulating material goods or pursuing fleeting pleasures. By embracing this concept, one can learn to find balance in life and avoid extremes, helping to focus on personal growth and development. The 10th key of Stoicism is the ability to differentiate between what we can control and what we cannot. The Stoics believed that the key to living a peaceful and fulfilling life lies in concentrating on the aspects that are within our control and accepting the things that lie beyond our influence. This practice entails recognizing the distinction between our own actions and thoughts, which we can govern, and external events, which we cannot. It is important to understand that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to those events. Epictetus famously stated, "It's not the things that disturb us, but our opinions about things." This quote emphasizes that our peace and happiness depend not on the events themselves, but on our interpretation and response to them. By practicing this principle, we can learn to focus on the things we can control and accept what we cannot, thus fostering personal growth and development. The 11th key of Stoicism is the forecasting of potential challenges or adversities, also known as premeditatio malorum. The Stoics encourage the regular practice of mentally preparing for difficulties that may arise in the future. This exercise is not about fostering pessimism, but about being ready and having a plan in case things do not go as expected. A famous Stoic philosopher once said, "The wise man always considers that adversity is possible and therefore prepares himself to face it. This teaching reminds us that wisdom is not found in hoping for the best, but in preparing for the worst. By practicing this, we can learn to anticipate challenges and maintain composure even in the most trying situations. This mindset will help us remain calm and focused on our personal development. The 12th Stoic key is universal connection, which reflects the Stoic belief that we are all part of a larger whole and that our actions are intrinsically linked to the universe. This practice involves recognizing our connection to the cosmos and acting in harmony with it. It is important to understand that our actions affect the universe and that we must consider this impact when making decisions. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." This quote serves as a reminder that we are part of a greater system, and our actions can have consequences beyond our immediate surroundings. By practicing this principle, we can learn to consider the impact of our actions on the universe and contribute to the well-being of the global community. This perspective will allow us to focus on personal growth while understanding our role within the larger context of the universe. The 13th Stoic key is arete, which translates to excellence of character. The Stoics believe that the ultimate goal of life is to develop a virtuous character and live in accordance with nature. Arete is the practice of cultivating virtues and living according to our values. It involves recognizing that true happiness and fulfillment are found not in external circumstances, but in our actions and character. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, famously said, "Don't look to have events happening as you want. If you don't want events to unfold as they happen, you will have a life at peace." This insight reminds us that peace and happiness come from how we interpret and respond to life's events, rather than from the events themselves. By practicing arete, we can learn to cultivate a virtuous character and live in alignment with our values, which fosters personal development and fulfillment. The 14th Stoic key is duty. The Stoics taught that each of us has a duty or moral responsibility toward ourselves and others. This practice involves fulfilling our obligations and responsibilities, not out of fear of consequences or obligation, but from a sense of moral duty. By understanding and embracing our duty, we are able to live a life of integrity and contribute to the well-being of those around us. Through this principle, we learn to align our actions with our ethical values, fostering both personal and communal growth. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "Do what is in harmony with the nature of a good man." This quote reminds us that our duty is to live in alignment with our nature and to lead a life of virtue. By practicing this principle, we can learn to fulfill our duties and responsibilities in ways that are harmonious with our values and principles. This perspective allows us to focus on personal growth and development while contributing to the well-being of others. The 15th and final key of Stoicism is logos, which translates to universal reason. The Stoics believed that the universe is governed by an inherent reason or logic, and our task is to live in harmony with this reason. Logos is the practice of seeking truth and wisdom through the use of reason and logic. It is about understanding that our actions and decisions should be guided by reason, not by emotions or desires. Marcus Aurelius also wrote, "Everything that happens, happens in the way that universal nature wants it to happen." This quote serves as a reminder that we must strive to understand and live in harmony with the universal reason that governs the universe. By practicing Logos, we can learn to make rational decisions and live a life that aligns with universal reason. This perspective helps us focus on our personal development and growth. As we come to the end of our exploration of the 15 Stoic keys, it is clear that each key offers us a unique perspective on how to live a full and meaningful life. From ataraxia to logos, these principles remind us that we have the power to control our actions and reactions. We can live in alignment with our values and principles and contribute to the well-being of others. Remember, Stoicism is not merely an ancient philosophy, but a practical guide for everyday living. By applying these keys in our lives, we can find inner peace, live with purpose, and unlock our full potential. So, are you ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth? As the great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoicism. We hope these keys will inspire you to focus on yourself, live a meaningful life, and make the most of your potential. Until next time, may you continue your path toward a full and significant life.